watching Capital One Bowl Mania.
We have all you more distractions, great. You guys know we're working on all the details and pages and everything, but I'm not going anywhere.
I know you're going to play with discipline and toughness and grit and play the next play. That's ingrained in who we are. Now, that field out there is our stage, man. Y'all are the performers, and we're going to put on a show, man. Let's go put on a show today. Let's go put on a show. One last time together. Let's ride, baby. 3, 1, 2, 3. Here we go.
Brent Key, Kalani Sitake, a couple of coaches stayed home. To them, home is not a place, it's a feeling. And they're completing the season with their teams. You're watching the Pop-Tarts Bowl, part of Capital One Bowl Mania on ABC. Under an irradiant sky here in the jewel of Central Florida, Orlando, it's the fifth inning all time between number 22 Georgia Tech and number 12 BYU. Hello, everybody. I'm Mark Jones alongside Roddy Jones, Quint Kesnick down on the field, joining us in just a moment. Season's greetings from all of us to all of you. Roddy, let's start with your alma mater, Georgia Tech. You know, when you look at their 8-0 start, Haynes King was dictatorial and magisterial. He put up great numbers, and he leaves an indelible legacy. You would know.
He certainly does. This is one of the most impactful players in the history of Georgia Tech football, and here in the People's National Championship game, he's going to be looking to get one of those 3 Pop-Tarts they're sacrificing at the end in their hands. Hear ye, hear ye. Let's talk about the career of Haynes King. 3 straight seasons with 10 pass touchdowns and 10 rushing touchdowns. The other guy to do that the last 30 years in the ACC is a guy named Jackson, who's got a couple of MVPs in the NFL. 9,000 yards in only 3 seasons. The only player in Georgia Tech history to do that, and then the most touchdowns rushing and passing in Georgia Tech history. His legacy is going to be felt for years to come because of his leadership and the way he's transformed this program.
Meanwhile, BYU looking for their 12th win of the season for the first time since 2014. And when you look at their season overall, Jack Kelly not going to be playing. Of course, he's one of the leaders defensively, their linebacker, but at the embodiment of the program, a guy that really shows what makes this team up, okay? Chase Roberts. Chase Roberts, a guy that is all about persistence, productivity, embodies everything that this program is about. Playing his final game, one of the several seniors for the Cougars. Georgia Tech won the toss, deferring. BYU will have the football first. And Bear Bachmeier, the starting quarterback for BYU, coming off a loss in the previous conference championship game. Let's go downstairs to Quint.
Yeah, and his health was one of the biggest question marks for the Cougars. 6'2", 200-pound freshman quarterback injured that left ankle in the first series against Texas Tech back on December 6th. He missed some practice time, but he's back in the lineup. He has warmed up well, and his mobility is absolutely crucial. He's improved in the passing game, Mark, but as a between-the-tackles runner, the quarterback who wears 47 has to be a factor.
It's a number that he's worn playing football since he was 8 years old. Going to look to sling it on the first possession here, and finds his receiver at the 36-yard line. Carson Ryan with a nice grab for a first down. He picks up 12.
Just what Q was talking about, the mobility was our question coming into this game. Bear Bachmeier climbs in the pocket as he does so well, escapes out to his right, throws on the run accurately. It looks like that left ankle is doing just fine.
Might be throwing a little bit more today without the use of their star running back, L.J. Martin, who had over 1,200 yards on the season. Bachmeier downfield, a little bit of contact, no flag, it's incomplete. Intended for their speedster, Parker Kingston. It'll be 2nd down and 10. Well, Kalani Sitake, we showed you the clip a moment ago, coming on the air, resisting the offer from Penn State University to stay at BYU and re-sign an extension with the school. His program has always embodied Faith, love, and football. Those are the pillars that he preaches. DeMooney in a tailback. Bachmeier finds his receiver Chase Roberts to pick up the first down out to the 47.
And Mark, you mentioned Kalani Sitake and him staying at BYU. We saw at the top the reaction of the players, but when it leaked out that Penn State was coming after him, this fan base and the donor base especially was activated. They were very, very motivated to keep him in Provo. He's done a phenomenal job with this program, and it is set up well for years to come, but you could see how much he meant to the institution as soon as his name was leaked with Penn State.
Bachmeier looking to pass it again, and another completion at the 42-yard line to Chase Roberts. Is working against Rodney Shelley. And that's one of the questions, Roddy, coming into this ball game. How does this Georgia Tech defense hold up? They did well in their previous game against Georgia.
The thing they did well against Georgia was stop the run and force Gunnar Stockton to throw the ball and beat him. And then they played tight man coverage. Georgia wasn't able to hit plays down the field. Well, Bear Bachmeier's come out slinging it. And Aaron Roderick told us before the game, the offensive coordinator, they're going to throw it a little bit more today, and Bear's throwing it well.
This one tipped, but still caught. And a nice run after the catch. That was DeMooney, the starting tailback for L.J. Martin. And another completion, this one good for 5 yards.
It was tipped by Kilo Stone here on the left side. He's just going to get his hands up. And it's a little fortunate that DeMooney's able to come down with it. But Javessa DeMooney with L.J. Martin out and also Sione Moa out, Aaron Roderick is really excited about what Javessa DeMooney is going to bring.
Kingston in motion on the jet sweep, gets the call, found a crease, and gashes that defense all the way down to the 22-yard line. Another first down and a gain of 13.
Well, check the safety right here. He's going to come downfield and miss the tackle. It's a really nice job by Parker Kingston of being able to come around. There's a massive hole, but you got to make somebody miss. And Omar Daniels not quite able to make the tackle. BYU with a really nice drive to start this game.
Saw Parker Kingston down to the field. Coach Aaron Roderick says that he's a 10-5 sprinter, 100 meters going back to high school. Kingston verified that with me, and here he is trying to show people. Couldn't turn the corner, pushed out of bounds at about the 20-yard line. Omar Daniels pushed him out.
If you like trick plays, this game's going to be for you, because BYU and Aaron Roderick, he'll go deep. It's bowl season. Said we got to have fun during practice. They've got 4 or 5 trick plays, and Brent Key also teased the fact that he's got something up his sleeve.
These are two offensive staffs that really enjoy watching the other. A lot of similarities, and the trick play is certainly one of them.
Little pressure on Bachmeier, got it off in time. Complete down the middle to the 5. Carson Ryan sets up a 1st and goal on this impressive drive by BYU. Picked up 14.
So Carson Ryan's lined up on the right side, and he's just going to hesitate as Bear Bachmeier rolls out and then throws the football on like a little tight end delay. Georgia Tech actually knew. Blake Gideon told us, the defensive coordinator, he said, we know we're going to see that tight end delay at some point. We haven't defended it well. We've been hit on it a couple of times. And when Carson Ryan is able to get there up the middle, Bear Bachmeier is able to hit him.
McKay Hillstead, backup quarterback in the ball game, keeps it, Roddy, down to the 4-yard line. They like to run the football with him. He's a very mobile and agile runner. Picked up a yard on the play. As he comes out, Bachmeier comes back in. The Utah State transfer sets up a 2nd down and goal. So far on this drive, doing pretty well without L.J. Martin, albeit early.
And they've done it through the passing game. There hasn't been much conventional run. I don't know that we've seen a single handoff to the running back, but they've run the ball with Parker Kingston. You saw McKay Hillstead run the ball, and the passing game has been efficient.
There's a look at his numbers, 5 of 6 on 2nd down and goal. Bachmeier on the play fake falls inside the 5-yard line. Not sure whether he lost his footing or whether he was brought down, but That's a bad sign for BYU as he comes up hobbling on that same wheel that he injured 3 weeks ago against Texas Tech. He didn't practice for the ensuing week after that game.
Mark, when you hurt your ankle, it is the hardest thing are hard plants to push off. You can see that foot give out on him a little bit. And man, when you've got an ankle injury and it feels good, you're feeling great, and you have one of those happen, it can really put a damper on it.
3rd and goal. Nawahine in the backfield. On the option right, caught short of the end zone. Chase Roberts is about 2 feet shy of the end zone. Zachary Toby made the tackle.
You can see the noticeable limp with Bear Bachmeier. That's how he looked in that Big 12 championship game. But Chase Roberts on the slant return, just not quite able to get the ball across the goal line. Millimeters, maybe. He's short by about the length of a Pop-Tart.
I like that. What flavor? 4 catches for 37 yards for Chase Roberts already. 4th and goal. Bachmeier, they didn't make it. Nawahine got stopped, stoned there at the goal line, and Georgia Tech's defense gets the stop. Effort. Kyle Effort was the first guy to get there.
Kyle Effort right up the middle, the neck roll linebacker in the hole, meeting the running back and stopping him inches short.
Just a lustrous sky and beautiful day for college football here at the Pop-Tarts Bowl, part of Capital One Bowl Mania on ABC. And what an impressive drive. Hey, that was like the expression, the operation was a success, but the patient died. They didn't score. 12 plays, 74 yards.
Nothing for it.
Haynes King now with the reins of the Georgia Tech offense. 1st and 10. We have a flag on the field.
False start. Offense number 88. Half the distance for the goal. 1st down.
It's going to go against J.T. Byrne, the tight end. Haynes King, the team's leading passer, of course, and leading rusher, ran for almost 1,000 yards on the season. What a great story. 3-year starter at Georgia Tech after transferring from Texas A&M. Sometimes it doesn't work out for kids in the portal. It certainly has for him. Mosley, nice run, gain of about 8 yards. Isaiah Glasker making the tackle from his linebacker spot for BYU. It'll be 2nd down and 2.
And we hit this in the open, but Jack Kelly, the excellent linebacker, all first team All Big 12, is out for this game. And his replacement, Nusi Tamoipeau, was the one that was on the edge of that play, got caught too far inside. Georgia Tech was able to take advantage of it. So already on the first play, Jack Kelly's absence being felt.
Haynes King surveys in the end zone, got rid of it. Caught. Is it in bounds? They're going to rule it incomplete. Or is it? Officials still talking. They're talking about it. They're still talking about it.
Watch the left foot of Dean Patterson. That thing comes down. That's in bounds. Oh, yeah. That's a completion as long as he has firm control. And he does. That is a completion. What a catch by Dean Patterson.
Number 11 of the offense went out of bounds and was first to touch the bat after returning. So lost it down at the previous spot. It's 3rd down.
So saying Dean Patterson went out of bounds and was the first to touch the ball, and sure enough, as he's coming back to the football, he steps out, steps on that white line, doesn't reestablish himself in, and so you have the loss of down, and it sets up a 3rd down off of what was a great catch.
Man. Matt Austin with us today. Matt, can you clarify for us? We'll get back with Matt in a moment. 3rd down and 3 for Haynes King. That pass incomplete at the 12. Evan Johnson there to break it up. He is their best cover corner, and he was covering Dean Patterson, so Georgia Tech will have to punt after gaining 8 yards on 1st down on that promising run by Mosley.
And Chris Winkie the new offensive coordinator for Georgia Tech for this game, with Buster Faulkner taking the Florida job, runs it on first down, opts for 2 throws, second and third, and it ends up in a 3-and-out.
Parker Kingston will watch this bounce out of bounds at about the 37-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 from there. We're going to take a short break. 7:45 to go in the opening quarter. And this is the 5th meeting all time between these two schools.
In the talk in college football, these bowl experiences are still incredibly memorable, particularly when you're in a place like Orlando where you can partake in all of the fun that's around the city, and these two schools certainly have. Although those go-karts are a little slow. It goes a little faster.
Hey, it's only 40 minutes to Cocoa Beach. Look at BYU's impressive opening drive. 12 plays, 74 yards. No points to show for it. Bachmeier incomplete at the 43 and a flag thrown at the 41. Chase Roberts, the intended target. He was working against Amari Harvey. Let's take another look at this.
Defense number 15, 15-yard penalty, first down.
That ball was well underthrown. Chase Roberts tried to come back to it, and Amari Harvey just a little too grabby at the top of that route. But Bear Bachmeier started on that first drive 6 of 7. He was really throwing the ball well. With LJ Martin out, they've used it kind of as an extension of the run game.
Kingston in motion. They hit Carson Ryan for a short gain on the play. Roddy, what do you make of the fact that Bear Bachmeier has been able to shake all those turnovers that he had in the Texas Tech game, their last one?
We've seen them. This is our 3rd time now this year, and every time we've talked to the coaches about Bear Bachmeier, they've talked about his demeanor, particularly for a true freshman. He is remarkably calm, and nothing really bothers him, so he's been able to shake those off. Obviously, you've had 3 weeks. He's gotten more healthy, and he started today seeing it and throwing it well.
Looking at 2nd and 4, pressure coming off the edge. They keep it on the ground with Nawahine, and he'll end up about a yard shy of the first down. Picked up 3. We're keeping close eyes on him collectively pregame with that bad wheel that he suffered, doing some agility exercises, some load exercises in his warm-up.
That left ankle was the one he hurt in the Texas Tech game. That happened early on, and it was clearly affecting him the rest of the game. You can see him with a little hitch in his giddy up as he was trying to get it warmed up. But he's looked decent. We'll see how it is after him being a little banged up on that first drive.
True freshman hands it off, and they're going to pick up enough for the first down. Nawahine gains about 3 on the play. Bear Bachmeier telling us a little bit earlier that his leadership voice, remember folks, he's just a true freshman, 19 years old. His leadership voice grew stronger with each performance and each incremental bit of success that he had. And that can sometimes be overlooked for a young player, right?
It can, and let's not forget that this is a guy that started his college career at Stanford in the spring. Troy Taylor gets fired. He comes over to BYU to be the backup. And then Jake Retzloff elects to leave, and he's thrust into the starting role.
Bachmeier sets, pulls, complete over the middle. Parker Kingston on the move, all the way down to the 5-yard line. 1st and goal, BYU. Phoenix Felton finally ran him out of bounds. And Bachmeier is on point.
Well, Georgia Tech blitzes the corner, and that gets Parker Kingston one-on-one with the safety, the true freshman Phoenix Felton. And Parker Kingston, one of the fastest and most explosive receivers in the Big 12, able to wrangle it and make a big play. He has shown why he is so dangerous as a receiver. We haven't seen him as a returner get loose, but anytime the ball is in 11's hands, you got to be aware.
10.500-meter runner. His grandmother ran track at BYU. 5 minutes to go in the first. Bachmeier surveys, pulls, touchdown Cougars. Mr. BYU, Chase Roberts. Roberts with his 6th touchdown catch of the season. 18th of his career. And for the true freshman Bachmeier, that was his 15th touchdown pass of the year. Will Ferrin in for the extra point. Cougars looking for the first 12-win season since 2014. An authoritative pass here.
Well, Chase Roberts is going to line up in the slot. He's going to fake like he's going out and then split the safety and the linebacker. And it's a phenomenal delivery by the quarterback right in the hole. He hits the fifth-year senior who has 2,500 receiving yards.
A 7-0 lead a moment ago on a touchdown pass by Bear McMahon. Or was that Bear Detmer? Or Roddy, was that Bear Young? That was Bear Bachmeier, but he has been on target so far in this first quarter. Bouncing back from that ankle injury that doesn't seem to be bothering him a whole lot right now. And Georgia Tech will have it 1st and 10. Let's take one more look at that touchdown talk.
Let's do it from the blimp, Mark, because Bear Bachmeier threads the needle, and it's going to be in between 3 Georgia Tech defenders. Just a phenomenal job by the young quarterback of taking this snap and seeing and trusting that Chase Roberts is going to be there in the little bit of space between those 3 guys. It was a little sliver the size of a toaster that he was able to thread it into.
Got it right amongst those sprinkles in the end zone, Roddy.
There you go.
7-0. Let's see what Haynes King gets going, coming back the other way. If you're Georgia Tech, you're thinking it could be worse, could be 14 love right now. 5 minutes to go, just under 5 minutes to go in the first quarter. Haynes King on the move, has a man at the 41, caught. And a little bit of run after catch. Malik Rutherford picks up a first down for Georgia Tech, got 22 on the play.
They got Malik Rutherford on Jonathan Cabea in the nickel, who's the nickel. That one-on-one is one that Georgia Tech really likes. They like their speed on the perimeter versus the size and length of BYU secondary.
Rutherford in motion. Haynes King keeps it. Patiently finds a hole. Brought down right around the 50 by Isaiah Glasker. Let's go down to Q for more.
We've been talking about program players. Tanner Wall, the safety for BYU, is one of those guys who will leave a legacy. Really not recruited. He came in as a wide receiver recruit, as a walk-on. They shifted him to defense, and he started at safety. 24-5 the last 3 years. This athlete from Northern Virginia. He's married to his wife, Corrine, went on a mission to Brazil, and he wraps things up today as a very productive and communicative type player in the secondary.
A great story, Q. And there's a first down run by Hosley, brought down by Evan Johnson. But back to Tanner Wall. He was really tearing up the first team as a member of the offensive scout team. And that's when they started to take a closer look, got the attention of Kalani Sitake and the rest of the staff.
And this is also what these bowl games are about. It's about sending the seniors out the right way. We've highlighted Chase Roberts on the offensive side for BYU, Tanner Wall on the defensive side. For Georgia Tech, it's guys like Haynes King and Jamal Haynes in the backfield, Keelan Rutledge up front that have been program changes.
They go empty on 1st and 10. A little bit of pressure. King finds his man on the sideline. That's Dean Patterson. And Patterson close to another Georgia Tech first down. Patterson on the season just 131 yards receiving. Satuala was right in the grill of Haynes King, but a 9-yard gain on the play by Patterson.
It's a really nice job by Haynes King of being able to deliver that ball. Falatau Satuala is coming on the blitz, and he's 6'4", 210 pounds. King was able to get it up and around the safety and to his receiver.
King gonna hand it off this time to Hosley. He picks up the first down and then some, about 4 in all. And coming up next, we'll have the Tax Slayer Gator Bowl between number 19 Virginia and Missouri. And tonight at 9:15 Eastern on ESPN, the final game of their quadruple header is LSU and number 21 Houston in the Kinder's Texas Bowl. Both also available on the ESPN app.
For Virginia, a season for Tony Elliott where they were in overtime in the ACC championship game and on the precipice of a college football playoff appearance. Interested to see how they'll play today.
Little receiver screen complete to Rutherford. Still on his feet. Rutherford rumbling down to the 7-yard line to set up a 1st and goal for Georgia Tech. Got some good blocks there, Roddy.
It's a big part of Georgia Tech's game. The blocking on the perimeter was fantastic, but this is one of the ways Georgia Tech gets the ball on the perimeter quickly, basically operates as a run because it's nearly 100% completion percentage. You're getting the ball in the hands of one of your most dynamic players quickly, and he's able to make a big play. Almost took that to the house.
Picked up 19, first and goal. Under 90 seconds to go in the opening quarter. King gets it out, incomplete, just missing his receiver. Out of the backfield, that's Stockton, Bailey Stockton. So it'll be second down and goal.
Kalani Sitake is trying to let them know that there was a block thrown because the receiver on the outside sets a pick on the defender that's trying to defend Bailey Stockton. If this is a completion, it's a touchdown. But I think Kalani Sitake thought that Stockton was past the line of scrimmage, which would make that offensive pass interference. It's out of behind the line of scrimmage, and it's legal.
Mosley trying to bounce it outside, comes back inside down to the 3. It'll be third down and goal on that gain of 5. Tanner Wall, who Quint was reporting on a moment ago, making the tackle for BYU. So decision time here. Pivotal play here, right?
Feels like a big third down.
Yeah.
And with the limited possessions that we expect in this game, I mean, we're almost done with the first quarter, and Georgia Tech's only had the ball. This is their second time. The limited possessions we expect, I would imagine Brent Key is going to be pretty aggressive on fourth down, particularly if they don't get it. I think he goes for it.
On the toss, and they look to throw it, but they blow the play dead, and the play gets revealed and showcased to the defense.
Prior to the snap, timeout. BYU, their
Wow.
first of the half. 30
And
seconds.
Brent Key is hotter than July right now. Quint, what happened?
BYU only had 10 defenders on the field after, I think it was Kirkland ran off. And Kalani Sitake took him a while, but at the last moment, he sprints to his right and gets the timeout. You count him up, you're only going to come up with 10.
Wow. They had a man wide open in the end zone, too, for the touchdown.
Well, when they have 11 and you have 10, usually you can find somebody that's wide open.
That's why Haynes King has been putting up those big numbers for the last 3 years for Georgia Tech.
Might end up being a play of the game for Kalani Sitake because that was a running back pass that Luke Harpring was able to snag in the end zone. That was a touchdown for Georgia Tech, but Kalani Sitake counting him up, using the old fullback speed to be able to get there. Let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There it is, only 10. That's why you get the tight end in the back of the end zone. One of the reasons when you get the tight end in the back of the end zone wide open. So what does Georgia Tech go to now? They tried the trick play, it got exposed. What do you go to now? This is a BYU defense that's been phenomenal. Number 5 in the country in not allowing opponents to score touchdowns once they get in the red zone. Only 39.6% of the time do opponents score touchdowns when they get in the red zone.
Mosley in the backfield. Rutherford in motion. King into the end zone, incomplete, and no flag on the play. Tried to hit Rutherford, setting up fourth and goal. Beasley there in coverage for the Cougars. It looks like they're sending in the field goal unit on fourth down and goal.
There's pressure coming from everywhere. Isaiah Glasgow up the middle. Both defensive ends won their matchups. Put a little heat on Haynes King.
BYU has all those exotic pressures, right?
Yes, they do. That one wasn't all that exotic, just a blitz up the middle.
Oh, wow. They come out of the formation, going to go for it. They're going to gamble on fourth. And they got stopped short of the end zone. Maddox never made it in. And BYU gets the stop. Brent Key wants a touchdown, but it appeared clear that the ball never made it from our vantage point. Here's another look.
Well, Traylon Maddox is able to take the snap, and then it's just meeting the linebacker in the hole. Does he get the ball? I think he gets the ball across.
Wow.
I think the ball breaks the front plane of that goal line. We got a shot right down the line. Let's bring in our rules analyst, Matt Austin.
He made it. It looked like he made it.
And they called it a touchdown on the field. They're lining up for the extra point.
So they did call it a touchdown. There was confusion amongst the officials, and we're tied at 7 apiece. Let's bring in Matt Austin to clarify things for us.
Yeah, Mark, I'm a little surprised they didn't actually stop the game and take a look at it, but I do agree with Roddy and you that he did reach the ball across. My question is, was his knee ever down before that took place? I never got a good shot at the knee and the hand together, so I thought they'd take a harder look.
I am a little surprised we didn't see that as well, Matt, but if it was called a touchdown on the field, you can't see the knee from the angle that we have right down the line, but the ball right there crosses the goal line. It breaks the plane. The question is, to Matt's point, is the knee down, but you can't see it. So perhaps the replay official said, hey, look, we don't have a look at the knee. It's called a touchdown. We're going to let this thing roll. But I think very clear the ball did break the plane in the end zone.
Number 27 of Georgia Tech is now wearing 46. 27.
The head linesman who is underneath our cart cam on the near side of the field, he made the call right away. It's Matthew Greibel, came in immediately and called touchdown, and that's who Kalani Sitake was just talking with. Perhaps we can talk to Coach Sitake between the quarters about that last play.
We never saw an official signal from the booth from either of the officials.
It's a great effort by Traylon Maddox to reach the ball out, get that thing in the end zone, and tie this game up.
It's going to come out 1st and 10 to the 25. 10-play, 75-yard drive as Georgia Tech knots the game at 7 apiece. Well, this is the only bowl game on the schedule Monday, an afternoon Sun Belt matchup between Georgia Southern and Appalachian State. Coverage of the J-Lab Birmingham Bowl begins at 2 Eastern on ESPN, ESPN Deportes, and the ESPN app.
Be a fun game, an old rivalry going back to the FCS days, and a great trophy there for the Birmingham Bowl, Statue of Vulcan, second best trophy that we've got.
Bachmeier incomplete. I see what you did there. Nobody else has a trophy that doubles as a toaster like we do here in the Pop-Tarts Bowl. One more look at Bachmeier. He got popped after the throw.
Yes, he did. That was a nice hit by A.J. Hoffler. But to your point, Mark, if you want functionality and fashion, you go no further than the Pop-Tarts Bowl trophy.
If that trophy makes the tour, I want it to stop by my house.
Absolutely. Toast me a hot fudge sundae.
Yeah.
Pop that thing in my mouth.
Bachmeier complete. Nobody home against Carson Ryan. All the way down the sideline. Still on his feet. And pushed out of bounds around the 41. 1st and 10 Cougars on the 34-yard catch and gallop.
Well, it's man-to-man coverage, and I think the safety is supposed to take Carson Ryan. He gets caught down inside. That's the freshman, Tay Harris, who's starting in place of Clayton Powell-Lee, or is playing in place of Clayton Powell-Lee, the fifth-year senior. He doesn't take Carson Ryan in that man-to-man coverage. He's able to get down the field for a big gain.
But a Georgia Tech player slow to get up and on the sidelines now. 1st and 10. Zachary Toby. Gonna head over to the sideline for Georgia Tech. What do you make of the way that the defense is holding up so far for Georgia Tech?
It certainly has not been the defense that we've seen the last 6 quarters. You look at the second half against Pitt, and then the entire game against the University of Georgia, and this defense was really good, very stout. But BYU's been able to move the ball at will, mostly through the air, and some of that confusion that they've been able to create was stuff that we saw throughout the season up until that second half of the Pitt game.
Yeah. Bachmeier has thrown for 132 yards so far. That's what they're playing for. The Pop-Tarts trophy. Throwing a little strawberry Pop-Tart too. We'll be back after this message and a word from our ABC stations. You're watching the Pop-Tarts Bowl, part of the Capital One Bowl Mania on ABC. BYU with the football from the 40-yard line. Awahine in the backfield. Kingston looking to pass it. Former high school quarterback tried to hit Chase Roberts, incomplete. Let's go down to Quint, who spoke with Coach a moment ago.
Coach, there were some questions about Bear's health coming into this game. How would you characterize the way he's played?
Well, he's tough, but you know we got to keep him upright because they've been knocking him down a lot in the first quarter, and so we've got to find a way to keep him upright and not get knocked down.
Senior send-off for a guy like Chase Roberts. What has he meant to your program?
Yeah, he's been huge for us. All our seniors have been, but he's been specifically been great for our team. As a captain, he's been a great leader for us, and you know we want to do things right for our seniors. So we got 3 more quarters to make it work. We got to put more work into this.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
All right, Q. Nawahine with a nice gain of 5 yards on the play. 3rd down and 4 coming up from the 34-yard line.
BYU has been a very good 3rd down team, particularly as of late. Last 4 games, they've been over 42% on 3rd downs. A lot of it because they end up in 3rd and medium and 3rd and short a lot. Here at 3rd and medium, what do they go with here?
Bachmeier gets it out quick, complete to JoJo Phillips, who picks up the 1st down. Inside the 20 to the 19-yard line. Phillips, sometimes the forgotten receiver amongst Roberts and Kingston. He got 13 on the play.
Well, that's his first catch since September 6th because of injury. We had that game against Stanford that he got hurt. Had 10 catches in the first 2 games. Physically incredibly talented receiver, but he's missed the bulk of the year. Returned last week against Texas Tech, didn't catch a pass. That a welcome sight for BYU fans to see him back and healthy.
Demooney and Nawahine in the backfield with Bachmeier. 1st and 10 from the 21. They keep it on the ground. Demooney, and he's brought down after a gain of about 3 on the play. Good hit by Effort on the play. And Tay Harris was also there.
It's a really good block on the edge by Reggie Frischneck. Let's listen to the hit. Ooh. It's times like that, when I see hits like that, I'm glad I'm up here with you, Mo.
It'll be 2nd down and 7.
How does this Georgia Tech team come up with a stop? We've got to create a negative play, something to get BYU off schedule.
They go trip to the bottom of the field, BYU. And keep it on the ground with Nawahine. He's brought down after a gain of about 1. Triplett making the tackle. Sets up 3rd down for the Cougars.
That's a fun play, a little pin and pull where you had 3 pullers, both guards in the backside tackle, all pulling around, and Georgia Tech was able to defend it well because of some penetration on the play side. Now that you've got BYU in the 3rd and long, Blake Gideon, the defensive coordinator, told us, hey, look, if I'm going to go out, I'm going to go out being aggressive. I'd expect him to go tight man-to-man coverage here and make Bear Bachmeier make a quick decision in a tight window.
3rd and 6, they go empty. Pressure off the edge, open, caught, down to the 3, Carson Ryan. 1st and goal, Cougars. What a quick decision there, Roddy, by Bachmeier.
It was a great decision, but watch these 2 players who are both going to go outside, and then Carson Ryan is going to slip right past them. Both of those defenders jump out. Neither one of them takes the tight end. Poor communication on the back end by Georgia Tech leaves the tight end wide open. Bear Bachmeier able to get it outside for another completion, and that's the 2nd time that we've seen a miscommunication in the Georgia Tech secondary leave Carson Ryan, the tight end, wide open.
Bachmeier, the offensive freshman of the year, hands it off to Parker Kingston. Couldn't get to the corner and got rocked at the 6-yard line. Daniels with some smoke for Parker Kingston. Kyle Effort also there.
These Georgia Tech defensive backs are coming up, and they're being physical. That was one of the things that really popped off the screen against Georgia, their physicality in the secondary, and Omar Daniels was a big part of that. We've seen him miss a couple of tackles so far in this game, but the physicality has certainly been there.
2nd and goal. Still haven't seen Bachmeier try to run the football like we did so frequently during the regular season.
I think that ankle is playing a part of it. And this is the area of the field where he would be a big threat.
On 2nd and goal, hands it off, and his running back Nawahine tripped up at about the 4-yard line. So 3rd and goal coming up. No gain on the play. Remember, they're playing without the Big 12 Player of the Year, L.J. Martin.
Down here in the red zone, we've seen them go to Chase Roberts twice. They've just brought in another tight end make Georgia Tech go bigger? Are you going to try and muscle up and go inside, or are you going to go to number 2, Chase Roberts?
Big target at 6'4".
There's Roberts in the slot.
On 3rd and goal, Bachmeier off the play fake, incomplete. No flag intended for Roberts. Looked like one of the defenders, Tay Harris, had his arm wrapped around his wrist. Bachmeier looking for a flag. We'll get another look at this, hopefully. Sets up 4th and goal, and in comes the field goal unit.
I'm a little surprised that we did not see a flag. That ball does not look like it was tipped at the line of scrimmage. And the freshman, Tay Harris, does grab Chase Roberts around the waist. I am very surprised that we did not get a flag on that one. That certainly should have been a first down for BYU at the 2-yard line.
Will Ferrin from 22 yards out. Cougars go up 3, 10-7 on the 22-yarder. A little bit of a disappointment for Kalani Sitake here in Orlando on a 75-degree afternoon. Back after this.
This is that 3rd down play on the last drive. You're going to see Chase Roberts break inside, and clearly the safety, Tay Harris, grabs the jersey, gets him around the waist. Should have been a flag for pass interference, and BYU had to settle for a field goal after that, as that being a 3rd down, but Georgia Tech's defense got away with one there.
Harris was holding him tight like a weak bladder. Shane Marshall on the kickoff return. Broke a couple of tackles out to the 25-yard line. The big 1st and 10 from there as we take a look at the Bowl Challenge Cup standings. Brought to you by Progressive and the Big Ten off and rolling. Anything else jump off the page for you, Roddy?
Well, the fact that we've made it a minimum 3 games to not give the Pac-12 some love. 1-0 in a bowl game.
Man. R.I.P. We love you.
This is the first of 8 for the Big 12. As they will get started, Texas Tech obviously in the college football playoff. They'll match up against Oregon in the quarterfinals of that. I'm really excited about that game, but saw Brett Yormark on the field earlier. He's excited about his crew.
High quality football so far today. That pass caught by Jordan Allen just shy of the 30-yard line. It'll be 2nd down. Gain of 5 on the play. And they're going quickly, going with a little bit of tempo now. 2nd and 5. King. This is just his 2nd run, and flags. There's going to be a face mask. Isaiah Glasker had a whole handful of Haynes King's face mask.
Personal foul, face mask, defense number 16, 15-yard penalty, 1st down.
Yeah, this was an easy one to call.
Yeah, Glasker out there on the edge. I don't think he actually got the face mask. I think he got the top of the breastplate and the ball. And it looks like a face mask because of where the ball is in relation to the helmet, but it should not have been a face mask, although I can see why they call it.
Hosley takes it over the right side. Let's bring in Matt Austin. Matt, what do you make of that last play?
I thought it was a face mask. I thought he had the underside of the helmet. Roddy, I see what you're talking about, maybe with the breastplate, but I thought it was a good call. I'd have to see it again to change my mind.
We're going to take a short break. Glasker having that conversation with the official as we pay a few bills. Back on the other side of this. Josh Petty of Georgia Tech, left tackle, being helped up and off the field a moment ago by the athletic training staff. We're going to take a look at how that happened.
Yeah, he gets rolled up right there in the middle of your screen. Obvious pain. And Josh Petty was a huge recruit for Georgia Tech, one of the biggest recruits in Georgia Tech history, coming in and not played very much, but obviously with the bowl practices you can help get those true freshmen up to speed. Getting some reps here and left the field in obvious pain. Just hope that he's going to be that he's healthy, and if it is something that keeps him out, it doesn't keep him out long.
As a freshman, He's the type of player that this game benefits in particular. 2nd and 4, those 18 extra practices they have. Here's the jet sweep to Rutherford. Picked up the first down. And he's down to the 42-yard line. So Georgia Tech into BYU territory now with 8.5 minutes to go in the second quarter. 7-yard pickup on the play. And back up the line of scrimmage quickly. Zion Taylor goes in motion, now sets at the bottom of the screen. King got time, taking a shot on the post. Contact, no flag, incomplete. Intended for Zion Taylor, and a disbelieving Brent Key.
This is the end of that play. You've got a couple of defenders that are all over the receiver down the field. Zion Taylor, it really feels like the officials letting them play down the field. I think that one could have been called. You get a look on the right at Chris Winkie. Q, what do you got on Coach Winkie?
Well, I mean, he's starting to feel it. You can feel he's got rhythm here, varying the tempos. He's trying to get the ball in space and use Georgia Tech's speed. The former Heisman winner 25 years ago, taking over for Buster Faulkner, who was named the offensive coordinator at Florida for John Sumrall. So an opportunity for Wenke, the quarterback's coach, to showcase and to put his imprint on this offense.
All right, Q, Dean Patterson picking up the first down. Any subtle differences you see in play calling, if at all?
We saw him down in the red zone throwing the ball a little bit. Georgia Tech had been a heavy run team in the red zone. But Chris Winkie told us yesterday when we had a chance to meet with him that he felt very excited and prepared for the moment. He said, if I tell my backup quarterback to prepare like the starter every week and then I don't prepare like I'm the play caller every week, I'd be doing everybody a disservice.
Haynes trying to get to the perimeter is stopped up as he cuts it north-south. His forward progress going to be marked at about the 30-yard line. Maika Kafusi making the tackle on the play. 3-yard gain. And what would a BYU football game without a Kafusi be, right? It wouldn't be a BYU football game. A long lineage and procession, the talented football bloodlines. Kafusi on the field again. From the 30, 2nd and 7. King going to hand it off between the tackles. Haynes still on his feet. Another first down at the 20-yard line. Jamal Haynes with a nice burst.
Well, you're going to see this a ton with Georgia Tech. Counter, those two pullers coming around, and then Jamal Haynes just hits it right up the middle. The down blocks on the front side, the great blocks from the backside. This entire offense, Brent Key told us that Buster Faulkner is a big loss, but this was a collaborative effort to come up with this offense. A lot of it having to do with those gap scheme runs with pullers from the backside creating lanes.
They fake the jet sweep. Haynes King takes it down to the 19-yard line. Isaiah Glasker limits the gain to just 2 yards.
And once again, two pullers from the backside, down blocks up front. This time they do it with the quarterback. You get a fake jet sweep going one way, and the misdirection of a jet sweep one way creates hesitation. It wasn't a big gain, but all of the movement going every different way is what makes this Georgia Tech offense so difficult.
They fake the receiver screen, now go back that way, incomplete at the 25 to Eric Rivers. Stops the clock with 5:40 to go in the first half. 3rd down and 8 coming up. And this is a game that players from both teams have proclaimed that, you know, this Pop-Tarts Bowl is a game between two college football playoff quality squads. A couple of teams that were very much in the mix for most of the year. Mosley in it back on 3rd down. King in the end zone. Overshoots his receiver, who was plaintive with the official. There's a flag down at the 5-yard line. Malik Rutherford pleading for a call. He's working against Jonathan Cabella.
Pass interference. Defense number 2. Spot foul, automatic first down.
And there it is.
Rutherford gets one-on-one with the nickel, and Cabella just grabs him coming out of the break. And as he tries to separate, grabs the jersey in the back as well, and Georgia Tech gets the call. and gets a first down inside the 5-yard line. That was something that Georgia Tech, the coaches mentioned to us. They thought BYU was a little grabby down the field, and the size of their secondary thought that might be an issue with the speed of these Georgia Tech receivers on the outside.
Sets up a 1st and goal. And Georgia Tech head coach Brent Key going to call timeout. The former Yellow Jacket linebacker looks skyward, and they're going to talk it over. Aerial coverage brought to you by Goodyear. Legends aren't born, they're proven. Time winding down in the first half. Mark Jones, Roddy Jones up top. Quint Kessenich down to the field. Glad you decided to tap in, folks. This Pop-Tarts Bowl, 1st and goal, Georgia Tech. It's the ACC against the Big 12. Haynes King into the end zone. Touchdown, Georgia Tech. Eric Rivers. So they capitalize on the pass interference call with a score.
How about this route by Eric Rivers? Sells the slant, breaks back out to the pylon. It's a perfect delivery by Haynes King, and Georgia Tech takes the lead.
For Haynes King, it's his 13th touchdown pass of the season. The 64th of his illustrious, luminous career on Techwood. 14-10. Boy, what a winner he's been.
Yeah, Brent Key congratulating his quarterback in his last ever game in the white and gold. The relationship between these two, I mean, Brent Key was almost emotional talking to us yesterday about what Haynes King has meant to the program. He told us what he has meant and what he has done for the program will affect this place for decades because of his leadership, his belief in this program from the very beginning, the dark days, as Brent Key calls it. But I think his toughness and obviously his skill has shown throughout his collegiate career. He's had some incredible moments, and he's looking to end this the right way, and that's with 2 grubby, very unsanitized hands digging into a Pop-Tart at the end of this.
Haynes King, the ACC Offensive Player of the Year, gives Georgia Tech a 4-point advantage with 5:28 to go in the first half. Brent King was talking about how important it is to breach that 10-win plateau, and perception-wise, how successful that's viewed as. Dropped at the goal line by Hagan, loose, and Georgia Tech saying they may have gotten it. Loose ball, waiting for an indication. Georgia Tech football. A huge giveaway by BYU, and they've got it on the 5-yard line now. As Cody Hagan drops it and was unable to recover it. Boy, great hustle down there by Will Kiker.
Will Kiker was absolutely screaming down the field, and as soon as that ball hits the ground, you can see the reaction from Jamal Haynes. As soon as he finds out, he's like, oh, we gotta go. Let me get my helmet. Great field position for Georgia Tech. The first turnover we've seen of this game. Now Georgia Tech has an opportunity to take a big lead despite not having the ball much in the first quarter.
Yeah, time of possession tells a different story than the one on the scoreboard. Haynes King off the play fake, open, touchdown! They convert immediately. J.T. Byrne.
Well, J.T. Byrne is lined up right on the edge of the line of scrimmage, and you're going to see all the action going this way, and he's just going to slip past the linebackers into the back of the end zone. Haynes King with the delivery 1 play later. In the matter of 2 consecutive plays offensively, Georgia Tech goes from being down 10-7 to up 21-10, excuse me.
With 5:15 to go, Haynes King is leaving an indelible imprint on this Georgia Tech program. So many memorable moments to choose from in the winning career of this quarterback who got this year's team out to an 8-0 start. And it felt like every game, Roddy, they were taking it right down to the wire, and he was making huge winning plays for them.
Well, he's a guy that on the sideline would tell him, hey, look, just give me the ball. 511 yards against NC State was certainly a memorable performance. The performance against Georgia in the 8 overtimes last year, albeit in a loss, was one of the all-time performances in the history of that rivalry. Fortunately, 2 of those performances we just showed did end up in L's for Georgia Tech, but there are plenty of them that ended up in wins. He is a winner, has been his entire career, going back to high school, leading his high school to a state championship under his dad as the head coach. His career has been one that Tech fans will remember for all time.
Well, they fumbled the last one. This one will come out 1st and 10 from the 25-yard line. They had Carson Ryan back there instead of Hagan. We'll be back in 10 seconds after a message from Ally.
Spend smarter and save more with Ally, the bank that's your ally. Back to you.
All right, Kevin, back here, 5:15 to go. That message from Ally. First and 10. JoJo Phillips in motion. Bachmeier complete to who else? Parker Kingston still on his feet. And run down finally at about the 43-yard line. Amari Harvey, the first one to get there. Parker Kingston can hurt your feelings by running away from you a little bit. Picked up 19 on that play.
Got away from a lot of guys in that Georgia Tech secondary. Eventually able to run them down, but the chunk plays in the passing game have been what have driven this BYU offense. Haven't really run the ball much, only 12 attempts so far. It's been much more effective throwing the ball against this Georgia Tech defense.
Kingston in motion, Bachmeier pulls again, complete to Phillips over the middle out to the 47-yard line, let's call it. Tay Harris making the tackle on the play. 9-yard pickup.
There's a recap of some of the things that have not gone BYU's way. Georgia Tech doing a great job of stopping them on the 1-yard line on their first drive after what was a very promising drive for BYU. And then the fumble on the kickoff return, the muffed kickoff, Georgia Tech's able to recover, gave him the ball inside the 10-yard line.
And the non-call on the holding penalty, what looked like one. Nowhere to go for Chase Roberts, brought down behind the line of scrimmage. Maybe lucky enough to get back to it. With 3:42 to go in the first half. Tell you what, that freshman quarterback has been pretty impressive throwing the football today, though. His discernment and sovereignty over the offense has been pretty solid.
Certainly has. We have not seen him, though, on the design quarterback runs. A lot of that because of that ankle. This is one of those situations where we would likely see it. But with him being banged up, where does BYU go on a 3rd and short?
Bachmeier. And there's a flag down on the far side of the field.
False start. Offense, number 2. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
It's going to go against Chase Roberts. That's the 3rd penalty against the Cougars for 34 yards.
That one takes you from a 3rd and 1 to a 3rd and 6. If we can look at the numbers, both quarterbacks have been very good so far in this game.
Doesn't quite reconcile with what's up on the scoreboard. Bachmeier had it tipped incomplete. Batted down by Stone at the line of scrimmage, setting up a 4th down and a punting situation for BYU. Well, they've suddenly stalled out here a little bit.
Kilo Stone has gotten his hand up a couple of times. Time getting right up in the grill of Bear Bachmeier against the right tackle, Andrew Gentry. The throw was short of the sticks anyway. I'm not sure Parker Kingston would have been able to get the first down, but it forces a BYU punt.
Sam Vanderhaar into punt. His first one of the afternoon from his own 33. An end-over-end effort. Eric Rivers back there watches it bounce out of bounds, and a wonderful placement, coffin corner at about the 3-yard line, where it'll be 1st and 10 for Haynes King and Georgia Tech. You know, I'm always interested, Roddy, when a team starts off so great as and successful as Georgia Tech did, 8-0, and then they hit that loss. Since that time, it's been a little bumpy. They've lost 3 out of 4. How's that first loss absorbed by teams like that, when you, especially the way they were winning football games?
It's a great question. I think a lot of that was the defense and sort of let them down. You look at the NC State game, they gave up a ton of yardage. Same in that Pitt game in the first half. And then Georgia's a college football playoff team, national championship, one of the favorites. So they hit really good competition. But I don't think the belief and the leadership of this team has ever wavered. Once they cleaned up some stuff on the defensive side of the ball, you can see throughout that Georgia game, they were right there in it, throwing the ball in the end zone to try and tie it up on a Hail Mary. So it's a great question, but I don't know that this team was ever shaken, even though they had their destiny in their own hands. With a win against Pitt, they'd have been in the ACC championship game, possibly a berth in the college football playoff. I think this is still a team that had great belief throughout.
Right now looking at 2nd down and 10. As we hit the 2-minute timeout.
Timeout on the field.
Georgia Tech leading by 11 points. Looking for their 10th win of the season. Here in Orlando, where Georgia Tech played a huge game back in 1991. Turned out to be a national championship game. Trivia time.
The goal line, a turnover, that combination has Georgia Tech looking really good.
Mark Roddy, we'll see you at the half.
All right, yeah, their defense has held up really well so far on the running play out to the 8-yard line. It's Malachi Hosley, brought down by Satuala, who was 3rd team All Big 12 this past season. Picked up 6 yards on the play. We got a timeout with a 3rd and 4 coming up. You know, the branding and the Pop-Tarts Bowl has been exceptional again this year. Imagine using toasters, Roddy, as curls on the barbell. I mean, that's...
The thing is, only the protein Pop-Tart was able to lift it. And, I mean, that's sort of cheating on the strawberry... the protein strawberry Pop-Tart. You can't just walk up and hit the dunk button.
Hey, by the way, I want to thank you for sharing your protein Pop-Tart with me a moment ago.
Got to get you. I saw you in the weight room earlier today. We got to get you fueled up with the protein.
10 grams of it.
Team Sprinkles on one side, Team Swirls on the other. 3 Pop-Tarts are going to be sacrificed today, people, in the People's National Championship. Will one of them have protein in them is the question.
Oh, this is it. Georgia Tech BYU, the People's National title game here. 3rd and 4 for the Yellow Jackets. On the jet sweep, a lot of room for Hosley, and still on his feet out to the 26. And a late flag comes in. See what this flag is all about. A gain of 16, though.
Holding. Offense, number 80. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. 3rd down.
They're going to bring this back a bit.
Well, here's the hold. It's out there on the perimeter. You can sort of see it right there on the edge. I don't know that there's much there. But unfortunately for Georgia Tech, it was a really nice play. It was called on the tight end, Brett Seither. Still a 3rd and short, though, an opportunity to convert. Haynes King's running ability is what you have to watch out for here.
Jamal Haynes in the backfield beside him. They fake the toss to the short side of the field. And Haynes King, as he's done all season long, invariably and inexorably picking up the 1st down with his legs. Keelan Rutledge leading the way up front, right?
The little fake toss creates some space for those edge defenders, but it's the front side of that play that creates movement, that allows those two pullers to come around. Georgia Tech not going hyperspeed, opting to still operate at a reasonable tempo, despite having only minute 22 on the clock.
This is Haynes keeping it between the tackles on the ground. Picked up about 2. 1:13 to go.
Feels like both teams are going to be content to take this thing to halftime.
Yeah. Seen Haynes and Hosley. Haven't seen J.P. Powell, number 20. I've been meaning to ask you, how much money did Powell have to give you so that you could take the number 20 out of retirement and wear your number?
Out of retirement? That thing was given out the day I left. They handed that thing to the next guy. I believe it was David Sims they handed it to and said, go at it, big fella.
I thought he had to write you a check, Roddy. I'm disappointed.
It's pre-NIL. We didn't have any money.
There you go. King completed the 42. Man, he dropped that right in there. Let's go down to Quint.
Aggressive call by Chris Wanke. Quarterback Haynes King throws the strike. He set the curfew all week for this team in Orlando. Apparently, coach telling us running up and down the field in practice, barking at his teammates. The leadership on display right now as they go into the 2-minute drill. And if you know Haynes King, Mark, you got to know his dad, John. Longview High School, a blue-collar, kind of a tough town in Texas. Originally played for Texas A&M. Chris Wanke had recruited him to Tennessee. At the time, said, you're going to play for me someday. And when he transferred from A&M, this was the spot to reunite with Wanke.
Yeah, great full circle moment. And right now, Wanke up there in the booth making the calls.
And now that Georgia Tech is nearing midfield with 2 timeouts, 32 seconds left, there's still plenty of time to be able to get in the field goal range for Aiden Burr.
Yeah, one of the best in the nation. He was a Groza finalist. King back to pass. Complete at midfield. Caught and brought down immediately is Jordan Allen. Pickup of 7 on the play. And the Yellow Jackets going to call another timeout here. They'll have 1 remaining, as does BYU. Looking at a 3rd down and 3. And King went over 10,000 yards total offense in his career on that last play. Let's look at some of his highlights from this afternoon. Started early.
This is to JT Burr, and Haynes King sees the action, the movement of the defense, and threads the needle, throws it right by the ear hole of the linebacker, Miles Hall. This was one to Eric Rivers. Little slant, sell it. The return on the outside. Haynes King puts it right on the money into that open space where 3 is able to get in the end zone. He's done a really nice job in this game, managing it. 10 of 16, 118 yards, 2 touchdowns already for Haynes King. Only 3 carries in the first half. That's probably the big upset of the first half.
Keep that defense guessing. Got him off balance. Dean Patterson split 3 receivers to the bottom of your screen. Pressure and caught by Rutherford. And a first down for Georgia Tech with 17 seconds to go. You mentioned Aiden Burr. He's got a pretty strong leg. Has a career high of 55. The 55-yarder this season against Clemson.
He's the game winner.
10 seconds to go. King taking a shot down the sidelines and incomplete. Darian Alexander defending the play against Eric Rivers. So 4 seconds to go. Surprised they didn't go for something a little shorter to get in the field goal range?
Yeah, it was tight coverage across the board. It's probably a conversion by Eric Rivers. When the corners rolled up, you take it up the field. Okay. It's tough to complete something short. But yes is the short answer. You would have loved to have had something 5 to 10, 12 yards where you could get in a little bit better field goal range for Aiden Burr, because from here you're over 60.
Well, coaches have both said they want to make this game fun, which includes a lot of unconventional play calling and trick plays. One more look at the last play.
Here's the last play. That's a clear grab by Darian Alexander.
Wow.
Let's bring in our rules expert, Matt Austin, see if we agree on this one. Matt, the grab there, did you think it was enough to see some laundry?
Yeah, I do. You know, there's a lot of hand fighting and slapping your hands away. That's one thing. But when you start grabbing a jersey or an arm or a shoulder pad, that's over the top, and that needs to be called.
And that would have put Georgia Tech well within field goal range. The speedster, Eric Rivers, had a step on Alexander, who kind of had his hand there the entire time. The grab happens at the end. Looked like the referee down the field had a good look at it. Doesn't get called, but that one cost Georgia Tech a field goal attempt.
Looked like Alexander was trying to pop his collar without asking.
Snatch his chain.
Yeah. 4 seconds to go. Little Big Ben right. Haynes King gonna lob it up into the end zone downfield. And that prayer goes straight through to voicemail. Incomplete. Satuala breaks it up. But the Yellow Jackets go into the break with an 11-point advantage, looking for their 10th win of the season. It'd be their first since 2014. Halftime, scores and highlights and analysis coming up. Bowl, part of Capital One Bowl Mania on ABC. As night begins to fall here in Orlando. 21-10, Georgia Tech lead. A 14-0 run for the Yellow Jackets after trailing 10-7. And Haynes King has done some brilliant things in the first half, Roddy.
He has, and before the game, Coach Brent Key and his daughter Harper taking a picture with Haynes King. You see her with the King jersey. Coach Key told us that Haynes is Harper's favorite player, and she's going to be incredibly sad to see him go, like a lot of Georgia Tech fans may be in tears, and this is why. It's throws like this, the ability to anticipate, deliver accurately down the field to Zion Taylor. This the slant return by Eric Rivers down on the goal line, and then the touchdown to Brett Seither as well. Haynes King, an incredibly efficient first half, 11 of 19, throwing the ball for 123 yards and 2 touchdowns, and what has turned out to be, like we expected, a low possession game where mistakes are magnified. Haynes King has not made one yet.
And the time of possession in favor of BYU, but that's not reflected on the scoreboard right now. As good news for Georgia Tech continues. They get the ball to start the second half. They won the toss, deferred on the opening kick. From the 1-yard line to the return by Shane Marshall. Marshall stays on his feet. And a nice return out to the 34-yard line. So when you talk about the first half, miscues by BYU were one of the prevailing storylines, and Georgia Tech, to their credit, capitalized on them.
Certainly, early on in that first drive, BYU drives down, gets inside the 1-yard line, and Kyle Eifert comes up with a great stop on the 1-yard line. And then this one was one of the unfortunate things that didn't go. It looked like a pass interference call should have been called in the end zone, but the dropped kickoff by Cody Hagan ends up being recovered by Georgia Tech. One play later, they're in the end zone. It's those mistakes were magnified by the low possession.
Haynes King with some open real estate, fakes the toss a couple of times and makes it into BYU territory at the 47-yard line. Picked up 19 on the play, but wonderful hand and footwork here, Rod.
How often do you see a pump fake work down the field? Tanner Wall jumps outside with the little fake by Haynes King, gets inside the safety, and tackling has been a bit of an issue for BYU in this game.
1st and 10 from the 49. On the jet sweep, the handoff to Haynes. And Haynes with a nice gain of 8 yards, Q.
Winning this game is going to require some pain. Does that sound like a corner man? That was Kalani Sitake just moments ago. He was most upset with his corners and his safeties and their inability to cover and their inability to tackle. But I did speak also to Brent Key. He says this game is being decided by situational football. Red zone conversions for Georgia Tech and the key turnover on special teams.
Talk about the low possessions, Mark. Georgia Tech had the ball 5 times in the first half. BYU only 4 because of that dropped kickoff.
A missed tackle by the Cougars, but the second group got there and hung on. Glasgow brings down Haynes to limit that gain. Sets up 3rd down, and looks like we got a flag too. Play continuing after the whistle.
After the play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, defense number 55, 15-yard penalty, 1st down.
So this is the play. You got John Tamoipeau who throws Jamal Haynes, but Jamal Haynes is inbounds when he throws him. I want to bring in Matt Austin. Matt, I mean, I don't think that should have been called unnecessary roughness. The running back's still in bounds. He throws him out. What did you think?
Yeah, Roddy, I agree. He's still fighting for yards. He hasn't left the field to play yet. What do you expect the tackler to do?
Right. I agree.
Well, they tack on some yardage down at the 26. Haynes King lobs it up, incomplete at the 20. Intended for Eric Rivers. It'll be 2nd down and 10, and Kalani Sitake perturbed, working the officials after that last call.
I think he should be. I mean, look at the balance of the calls, and Georgia Tech, it feels like, has gotten the more impactful ones, and the ones that we have kind of felt like have been missed have gone against BYU.
2nd and 10. Yellow Jackets going empty. Haynes King gets rid of it quickly, complete underneath to the 23. And forward progress going to be marked right at the 23 for Malik Rutherford. Gain of about 3 on the play, setting up a 3rd down now for Georgia Tech, well within field goal range. But they've been aggressive when looking at prospective 4th downs. Hosley in the ball game in the backfield. 3rd and 6. Haynes King completes the pass for the 1st down, and then some. Hosley makes it 1st and goal, Georgia Tech. A pickup of 13. Boy, what a play call, Roddy.
No doubt. You get 2 blitzers from the left side of the screen coming down, and then Hosley just slips out, and Haynes King does a nice job of floating away from the pressure to be able to create some time for Hosley to get out in the flat. Quarterback's able to complete the pass, and what a play to convert on a 3rd and long on just a little dump to the running back, but the ability to get away from the pressure created it.
They're missing Jack Kelly a little bit tonight. BYU is defensively nowhere to go that time. Glasgow, one of the first ones to get there. Let's look at Jack Kelly, one of the leaders defensively. 1st team all Big 12 this past season. One of their leading tacklers, a 5th-year senior. And the real big voice on that defense, huge communicator, and the heart of that Cougar team defensively. 2nd and goal coming up.
Mark, that mustache. I need to see that mustache that we just saw there. I need to see that on a Pop-Tart.
All right. Oh, that's a heck of a combo.
Maybe that's the next year.
There you go. Haynes King with time. King peruses into the back of the end zone and incomplete. Taylor couldn't stay in bounds. It'll be 3rd and goal coming up for the Yellow Jackets. But he had all day to throw that football.
And I thought he had about an acre of space to run it up the field, but how about that? Wow. I mean, that is a stash.
He has to be related to Raleigh Fingers, the former pitcher for the Oakland A's.
Now imagine that on Wildberry. Okay. I think we're onto something here.
Now I'm starting to worry about you.
I mean, Wildberry Fingers. That's what we're going for.
The mustache Pop-Tart. Exclusive. 3rd and goal coming up. Jamal Haynes in the backfield. On the receiver screen, high throw, loose ball. Loose ball comes out to King, almost still loose, and Glasgow comes up with it for the Cougars. Jordan Allen regurgitated the ball, and BYU has possession.
Well, Nusi Tamoipeo, he goes down, but watch the left foot. It kicks the ball out. How often do you see that in a bowl game?
Wow.
Just talked about mustachioed Pop-Tarts, and what do you get? You get a kicked ball fumbled. Haynes King has a shot at it. Isaiah Glasgow has a shot at it, and then on the 2nd time, he's able to pick it up. We mentioned turnovers were going to be huge. Georgia Tech in scoring position inside the red zone. End up with a turnover there. BYU now in a position to take advantage.
Perfectly placed kick. Tiger Buckmeyer completes it out into the flat. DeMooney with a nice run, picked up about 8 on the play. It'll be 2nd down and 3. Remember, if you're just joining us, L.J. Martin, starting running back for BYU, who ran for over 1,300 yards this year and 12 touchdowns on the ground, is not playing, had surgery. He's the Big 12 Player of the Year. But right now trying to make do without him.
They have done a nice job. They've moved the ball well. Been equal in terms of yardage with this Georgia Tech offense. They've just had more mistakes.
Bachmeier hands it off to Nawahine. Let's go one more time with that fumble and the perfectly. Matt, tell me about this. This is legal, right, Matt Austin?
Yeah, he's got possession of the ball, and I'm not sure it's an intentional kick. I think his foot just came up and hit the ball. But yes, you can kick a ball that's in player possession.
If it was intentional, is it still legal? Like, can he actually kick it on purpose?
If the ball is in possession, yes.
Wow.
See, a karate man could execute that perfectly. Bachmeier in the seam of the defense down to the 40-yard line. Carson Ryan has been so impactful today. There he picks up 18, but he has been the bane of that Yellow Jackets defense.
This is an unbelievable throw by Bear Bachmeier. Gets over the linebacker and down to Carson Ryan before the safety gets there. I mean, this is a layered throw that has to be thrown with pace to get down in time, but with enough touch to get over the outstretched hand of the linebacker. Really high-level stuff from Bear Bachmeier.
Nawahine in the backfield. Bachmeier taking a shot deep. Downfield, his receiver fell, and he's picked off. But there's a flag on the play. Amari Harvey trying to bring it back the other way. And we're going to see if this stands or not. He tiptoes out of bounds at the 25-yard line. And by Harvey's reaction, you can surmise that he's going to be whistled for pass interference.
Pass interference, defense number 3, 15-yard penalty.
Let's take another look at this.
Yeah, I think it's the extension of the arm right on the shoulder that draws the pass interference. If they're just running shoulder to shoulder and the receiver falls, I don't think you get that call, but it's sort of the shove. Let's bring in Matt Austin. Matt, what do you see? Do you agree that it's pass interference?
Yeah, Roddy, I do. When you extend, your arm is bent, you extend the arm, you get separation. That's the definition of pass interference.
It's unfortunate because I think you've been able to make that play without the extension. Just lean against that receiver with your shoulder and fade away.
Nakua in motion. Bachmeier completes it to JoJo Phillips. Out of bounds inside the 10. A little disappointed he wasn't able to stay on his feet. But he picks up 17, and it's first down and goal Cougars.
Well, Bear Bachmeier has an eternity to go through his possessions. Look right, looks back to his left. And how about the arm angle from Bear Bachmeier? It's opened up a little bit, but the arm angle gets the ball through the offensive line and to JoJo Phillips down the field.
Boy, this is a different quarterback than we saw in week 2 against Stanford.
Different quarterback than we saw in the Big 12 championship game as well.
First and goal from the 8. Out of the backfield, the throw a little bit high, incomplete. Intended for his tight end, Carson Ryan. It'll be second down and goal.
This BYU's 4th trip to the red zone. They've only scored 1 touchdown. They got stopped on the 4th and short, 4th and 1 early on the first drive. Had to settle for a field goal as well. So this a really big drive. I think it's going to continue to be a game where the possessions are limited. So when you get these opportunities, touchdowns are huge, but stops are equally as big.
3 receivers out to the top of your screen. On second and goal. You're going to keep it on the ground with Nawahine, and he makes it inside the 5, just shy of the 3. Picked up 4 yards. Set up third down and goal. Kelvin Hill making the tackle for the Yellow Jackets.
This is what you call block destruction. Watch E.J. Lightsey on the puller coming around. It's the tight end. And he just blows up the tight end. It doesn't make the tackle, but he certainly does not allow the running back a comfortable burst through the hole. But this sets up a 3rd and 5. On BYU, I'm thinking this is 2-down territory to try and get in the end zone, even though you've already been stopped inside the 5-yard line on 4th down once.
Nawahine in the backfield. Bachmeier perusing, and he's picked off in the end zone. Georgia Tech won't have this one called back. The Yellow Jackets come up with a huge turnover.
It's just a
Rodney
great play.
Shelley.
It's a great play on the cornerback. Rodney Shelley passes it off against Parker Kingston. Bear Bachmeier tries to make something happen, but a stop by this Georgia Tech defense again.
To stave off that challenge, Rodney Shelley with a big one.
I love the shot from the blimp because it tells you the level of detail that this crew goes to. The sprinkles in the end zone, both end zones. I mean, nobody brands their bowl game like the Pop-Tarts Bowl.
Don't let me try and eat those up in the end zone after the game. Haynes King throwing out of the end zone. There's a flag down. The pass is going to be ruled complete to Rivers.
Prior to the pass, holding defense number 29. The penalties decline. The result of the play is a first down.
15-yard gain and a great layout catch here. Wow. Had his hand under the ball, Roddy.
That's as
feet
good
in bounds.
That's as good a catch as you're going to see, especially when working through the contact by Jaden Dunlap. The physicality. Rivers met physicality with physicality and a great hands catch.
Rivers, an FIU transfer. This is Jamal Haynes. And Haynes got back to the line of scrimmage. Acero making the tackle on the play for BYU. It'll be second down. Past 6.5 minutes to go here in the third quarter.
I haven't called many of these BYU defensive linemen's names today. This Georgia Tech offensive line has done a great job. That time, Keanu Tanuvasa was able to get in the backfield and grab the shoulder pad before Acero was able to get there. So some penetration finally for BYU up front.
On 2nd and 9, Haynes King on the out pattern, complete down the sidelines. Jamal Haynes came out of the backfield and as a receiver showing that he's got some skills catching the ball too, Roddy.
It's an empty backfield. Jamal Haynes was out there and Siale Acera, the middle linebacker, was out there with him. Immediate tell to Haynes King that it's man-to-man coverage. And Jamal Haynes, a former receiver, pushes up the field, gets Acera off of him, gets a lot of cushion, and then he's able to catch the ball, make a man miss, and get some extra yardage.
Haynes, one of those seniors playing perhaps their final game on the blitz. Haynes King eluding harm and making it out to the 33 on the play. Well, for 20 years, Allstate has celebrated every field goal and extra point made at participating universities by donating to the university's athletic scholarship fund, supporting all student athletes. Thank you, Allstate. Nose of the ball cresting the 31. 2nd and 9. They fake the sweep on the receiver screen out to the 40-yard line, complete to Rutherford. Another 8-yard gain. Dinking and dunking and taking little patient pieces at a time. That's been the formula for Georgia Tech, and now one of their players slow to get up. That's Luke Harpring, who is the nephew of
the son of the legendary basketball player Matt Harpring.
Yep.
His dad was obviously a legendary Georgia Tech Yellow Jacket on the basketball team, an NBA player.
Yep.
His son being helped off the field.
Today's football game, the last for so many players on the field, has been rife with emotion, especially those many seniors that are leaving potentially a lasting legacy on the field and on campus and here in Orlando today.
This is shenanigans.
I don't know what to say about this. I was rolling until the Pop-Tarts popped up.
Yeah, and look, you had one Pop-Tart get almost to the finish line, and then the other Pop-Tart hot fudge came, and this guy took a wrong turn in Wonka world, although he does have Wonka vision with those goggles on.
3rd and 1. Haynes King faking the toss on the waggle, pass complete. And good hands to hang on to it by Josh Beetham. And pointing in the right direction. Took a hit from Raider to Mooney, but Roddy squeezed that football.
Yes, he did. And Josh Beetham is lined up right here on the edge of the line of scrimmage, right there. And he's just going to sneak out. As Haynes King fakes the toss, you get a lot of movement going to the left. He rolls back to the right, dishes it to beat them. Able to get the first down. Nice call by Chris Winkie.
Right between the tackles, there goes Hosley into the clear and finally brought down at the 41-yard line. Man, he hit that yawning hole and was through for 16.
It looked like there was going to be a tackle for loss potentially on the edge. Talisi Akana had a shot, but Hosley was too fast. A little hop step to get inside of the block, and he was right through there behind the big right guard, Keelan Rutledge, the first team All-ACC right guard, All-American as well. Opened up that hole.
1st and 10, approaching 3 minutes to go in the quarter. King wide open over the middle, finds his receiver. Forward progress going to be at the 27 for Eric Rivers, and another movement of the chains for Haynes King and Georgia Tech.
And BYU has had no answer for the Georgia Tech passing game. They haven't been able to get pressure consistently on Haynes King. And when they have had free rushers at him, he's been able to avoid them and create plays down the field. And now Georgia Tech has slipped in the run game as well. Is that Buzz in a Pop-Tarts costume? I'm trying to make a point, Buzz.
16-yard pickup on the play. Haynes King, 19 of 29 for 172 yards, a couple of touchdowns. And on the move. Rolls out. And good discernment right there to just throw the football away. Makes it a 2nd and 10. Live for another day.
There's Chris Winkie, who has been the quarterback's coach here at Georgia Tech since Brent Key was hired. Talked about the relationship between he and Haynes King, and when Brent Key told us that when he first visited Haynes King down at Texas A&M, and he jumped in the portal, he brought 3 receivers with him. One of them, Chase Lane, ended up coming with him. He said, hey, these guys want to go where I go. So Brent Key knew he was getting a true leader.
Yeah, and instant chemistry too, as Haynes spins forward for a couple of yards. Let's go down to Quinn.
A lot of people don't know that Chris Winkie grew up in Minnesota and was a 3-sport athlete in high school. Played in the Minnesota High School State Tournament as a 15-year-old. Says that was the most exciting moment of his athletic career. This is a guy who played minor league baseball and played for multiple national championships as a quarterback at Florida State.
King on the run. Ends up about 2 yards shy of the first down. So 4th down coming up.
Brent
They're
Key
making the tackle. What do you make here?
I would go for it. I mean, you just had an incredible surge on the right side of that offensive line. He told us he would be aggressive in this game. I'd say, although maybe when you're up 21-10, you get a little less aggressive than you think. Analytics says kick it. I say kick analytics out of here from behind the right side of that offensive line.
I'm with you, Roddy. Into the football game, Mr. Automatic. Burr. Blocked. How's that for Automatic? Not quite. Tanavasu got a hand up and got a piece of that football. A rare miss for Aiden Burr, who came into the football game 25 of 28 on the season.
Keanu Tanavasu right up the middle.
It's only the 2nd one he's had blocked this season. And the ESPN app with another data-driven telecast on ESPN2. Coverage kicks off with Scott Van Pelt and the Monday Night Countdown crew at a special time of 5:30 Eastern Time.
Hey, partner, I got some water for you after that
Thank you. I dipped at the tape to try and beat the time. 37 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter. Damouni on that last run.
That was a nice run. Aaron Roderick, the offensive coordinator, talked to us about Javessa Damouni and how excited they were to see him, but that only his 2nd carry of the game.
They're hoping to get him about 12 touches. That one batted down and almost intercepted by Jones. Shymeek Jones couldn't locate the ball. It was still in the air, had not hit the ground.
Did that hit him on the helmet after he tipped it?
I'd have to see the replay. It appeared that it did. Yep.
I mean, there you go. He said, look, I tipped it with my hand, and then it hit right on top of the sprinkles, on top of the helmet. He wasn't quite able to do that.
Sets up a 2nd down and 10 from the 32. On the option to the wide side of the field. Good gain here. That's the guy they were talking about, DeMooney. Cross midfield into Georgia Tech territory. Tay Harris making the tackle, but a 19-yard pickup on the play.
That's twice they've run that little speed option to get DeMooney on the perimeter quickly. And we've got it all. Should have a great finish. Hot Fudge Sunday loves it. I don't even know what this is, but there will be more Pop-Tart shenanigans and more football before.
You got one more quarter with Haynes King. What do you hope to see?
Haynes be Haynes.
Thank you, Coach.
A heartfelt answer from head coach Brent Key. Certainly emotional. I understand it when you look at their relationship through the last several years. That pass complete to Parker Kingston. Gain of about 3 on the play.
When we talked to him, he mentioned that his daughter, Harper, Haynes was her favorite player, and that once it really sank in that Haynes wasn't going to put on the white and gold anymore as a player, said she would be emotional. He looked at us and kind of gave us a wink and said she's not going to be the only one. Brent Key, certainly a guy who Haynes King means a lot to him, and he's been a lot to this program.
Bachmeier downfield, threads the needle, complete to the 30-yard line. Chase Roberts, Mr. Dependable, picks up 18 yards.
That's another guy who the head coach on the other side is going to miss. This is his last game. Bear Bachmeier is going to roll out to his right and find number 2 in a tight window. Bachmeier able to shake off that interception, deliver the ball. Chase Roberts, a guy who really embodies what it means to be a BYU Cougar.
First and 10. Hand off between the tackles. This is DeMooney. Picks up about 4 on the play. Back to Chase Roberts. He backed up Puka Nacua for a couple of years. And when Nacua was injured in Roberts' freshman year, he got an opportunity in a big game against Baylor, who was ranked at the time. Roberts was a freshman and caught a touchdown pass that was pivotal in BYU being able to defeat the Baylor Bears. Now, it's a full circle moment for him to come back here because he played in the Under Armour All-American game here. A few years ago, he said, Mark, I'm old. He played with Jaden Daniels, who was in that game. Bachmeier under duress, almost sacked, but got it off in time. It's harmlessly incomplete. But Moore was there leading the insurgents.
Watch the push off this left side, right through the hole. That's what ends up getting to Bear Bachmeier. It's a really nice job by Jordan Boyd off the left side of that offensive line to get in the lap of Bear Bachmeier and have him deliver off the mark. Now, what does BYU go to convert? Neither team has been very aggressive on 4th downs. Although this is the area of the field where I think if BYU gets the 4th and short, they may think about going for it.
From the 26, Bachmeier pulls, complete for the first down. Chase Roberts hangs on and falls forward. Picked up 7. Clock running, BYU down 11.
You get a switch release. Ryan goes to the outside, Chase to the middle, Parker Kingston to the inside. It creates space, and Bear Bachmeier finds the dependable number 2, Chase Roberts, to move the chains for Kalani Sitake's team.
About a year ago in the Alamo Bowl, Chase Roberts was injured. Spent the early part of the end of the season and going into spring rehabilitating his shoulder. Perfectly healthy now. Bachmeier, another strike underneath to his tight end. Ryan stays on his feet, puts his hat down, and plows forward to the 5. First and goal, Cougars. There's a missed tackle on the play by E.J. Lightsey.
You know what, Mark? These two teams are playing like this is the People's National Championship. They are playing as if this game is the most important game of the season. They're playing hard. For anybody who thinks that bowl games don't matter, watch Carson Ryan staying in bounds, making a man miss, challenging a linebacker, and powering up the field. It's feeling like BYU getting a little bit of momentum, but we've seen them down inside the 10-yard line twice and come away with 0 points.
First and goal on the jet sweep. Kingston couldn't get to the edge, pushed out of bounds. Somewhere between the 2 and 3 yard lines. Kingston with that 10.5 100-meter speed. Track and field in his background, his grandmother running track at BYU. And there's Lightsey, who missed that tackle on the previous play, slow to get up.
Timeout on the field.
Got a timeout on the field as the athletic training staff tends to Lightsey. We're going to take a short break and come right back.
This is Carson Ryan, a guy who's playing his last game in a BYU Cougars uniform. Sees one linebacker, says, "Get off me." Sees the other one and says, "Hey, look, let's go. Let's dance." Physicality, fighting for every single yard. There's a lot of narratives out there that bowl games don't matter. Let me tell you, it matters to number 20 in blue, and it matters to both of these teams, fighting for every yard and trying to do all they can to get a win.
11th play of the drive coming up. They're going to keep it on the ground. Nawahini. Signal touchdown. There it is. Enoch Nawahini with the score for BYU.
They're going to leave the offense on the field, Mark.
That was his first rushing touchdown this season.
Trying to make this a 3-point game. Enoch Nawahini taking on the linebacker at the goal line. Get a little push. Carson Ryan again, the tight end, pushing him in the end zone, able to just barely break the plane, it seemed like.
Going to take another look at this. Not sure what they're waiting on down there as they get ready to go now.
He's up, the push by Ryan. Ball, yeah, he falls across the goal line. We can't see if a body part is down. Called a touchdown on the field. And now a 2-point conversion to try and draw within 3.
Bachmeier out of the shotgun. Nawahini in the backfield beside him.
BYU 0 for 3 on 2-pointers this year.
Bachmeier gonna run it. Made it. Leaving bear tracks on Georgia Tech. Boy, what a momentum shift. Since the time that BYU blocked that field goal, they've come back and put it in the end zone to make it a 3-point game. It's the first score of the second half for either team.
Bear Bachmeier has not run the ball much because he's been nursing that ankle injury suffered early in the Big 12 championship game, but put his foot in the ground, saw the middle linebacker Kyle Eifert standing there at the goal line and said, "Let's dance, 44," and ended up in the end zone. That is what Bear Bachmeier has done all year long.
And Georgia Tech will take it 1st and 10 from their own 25-yard line. We'll be back in 10 seconds after a message from Ally.
Best highlight of the day, spend smarter and save more with Ally, the bank that's your ally. Back to you.
11:13 to go in the 4th quarter. BYU surging back. This is the 5th meeting all time between these two schools. Georgia Tech trailing in the series 3-1. Mosley and Haynes in the backfield.
Tell you, Georgia Tech could really use a drive here. It feels like the momentum has swung to the BYU side. They've been able to move the ball today. A lot of it has been through the air. They've slipped in some runs to be effective. They run for 123 yards on the day, but Haynes King throwing the ball, 19 of 30 on the day, has really helped them move the ball well.
On the jet sweep action, this is Rivers. Turns it north-south and ends up about 2 or 3 yards shy of the first down. Isaiah Glatsker made the tackle on the play. We've talked a lot about Parker Kingston and Roberts, but Glatsker is a huge part of this program as well. Third team all-conference for BYU. Young man that has put on 50 pounds of muscle since entering the program several years ago. There he is, number 16. Been a big part of their defensive success this year.
He's got a decision to make after the season on whether or not he's going to go to the NFL or not. But right now, he's worried about stopping Georgia Tech on third down. But this is the Haynes King zone.
3rd and 2, play fake. Haynes King got out of trouble and overshoots his receiver. Incomplete for Seether.
Well, it was a really nice job up the sideline of a defensive end, Logan Latui, running with the tight end, Brett Seither, up the sideline. And it was a very small window that Haynes King was going to have to fit that into, and he was about the length of a Pop-Tart off from that being a completion.
Nichols with the punt down to the 11-yard line. On the return, this is Parker Kingston. Using that speed, put his hat down, Roddy, and makes it out to the 46-yard line. So the dynamic and diminutive Parker Kingston catalyzing this comeback for BYU. And Bear Bachmeier ready to take the field again. His team with a chance to take the lead and leap into the front.
Maybe Telly. You got to figure out how he did that. But Mark went to 5 bowl games. Some of my best memories from bowl games were in those hospitality rooms, just hanging out with your boys for a week straight.
That's what you end up missing the most when it's all said and done. Option to the wide side of the field. The toss to Demooney. Let's take a look at today's game track, brought to you by Coca-Cola. And right now, BYU on a nice run here in the 4th quarter.
BYU with the 2 turnovers, both of them inside the Georgia Tech 5-yard line. An interception and the turnover on downs really crushed them. Obviously, the 5 possessions for both teams in the red zone. Georgia Tech having a field goal block. BYU getting stopped on a 4th and 1. It's kind of what we expected.
Yeah. A couple of teams that were in the mix to make the college football playoff for most of the college football regular season. BYU coming extremely close. Bradford making the tackle on the play. The Cougars' only 2 losses this year were both to Texas Tech.
And in that Big 12 championship game, this isn't making excuses, but if Bear Bachmeier doesn't get hurt, I mean, that's a 13-6 ball game late in the 3rd quarter. And then an interception ends up changing the tides, and it got away from him in the 4th. But this is a team that was right there for the entirety of the season.
3rd and 4 for the Cougars. Incomplete, broken up. 4th down, and an interesting decision now for the Cougars. Right around midfield, which is usually an auspicious part of the field to go for it on 4th down. And it looks like the punt unit is going to come in here.
Yeah, Kalani Sitake thought about it for a while. But your defense is starting to feel itself a little bit. It's been a low possession game, and you would imagine there's not a lot of them left. So that I think is why it took a while to decide, but eventually deciding for field position.
Vanderhaar with his 2nd punt of the game. Eric Rivers back deep. Rivers watches it go over his head. Boy, what a great punt by Vanderhaar. It's going to be down inside the 10-yard line. A couple of head coaches that very much embody the spirit and the culture and the vibe of their respective schools, and doing it well. Back after this.
In Orlando, back to Mark and Roddy.
All right, thanks a lot, guys. Back to your Georgia Tech football.
We need to get Kevin and Boga Pop-Tarts. Send it to Bristol.
I got a whole package of them here. Got some flags on the field.
Illegal snap, offense, half the distance to the goal, first down.
Mark, this is in the break. I don't know what flavor that is, but first off, I don't like it. Why are we grilling Pop-Tarts? I guess it's a compliment to toasting them. I don't like the Pop-Tarts technique on the grill. You are not invited to the cookout.
No.
You need, unless you're just eating. You can bring some potato salad. Let me do the grilling, even if it's just Pop-Tart.
Roddy, I need to see a little bit more seasoning on that Pop-Tart. I don't do that blend stuff. Over 8 minutes to go. Pass out of the backfield complete to Jamal Haynes. Nowhere to go. Engulfed by a slew of defenders. Tumoy Payao was the first one to get there. No gain on the play.
Georgia Tech has been aggressive throwing the ball in the shadow of its own end zone. They've had drives start on the 1 yard line, the 3 yard line, the 2 yard line, and now the 9. Its own. Those were all backed up deep. They've been aggressive throwing from this part of the field.
King completes it. Little receiver screen. Good blockers out in front of Rutherford, and tripped up, much to his angst. He saw his disappointment. Picked up 12.
And there's only 2 defenders over there. BYU blitzes off the edge. Georgia Tech has a really nice play call to counter the blitz. You can see there's only 2 defenders to the 2 Georgia Tech players, and that's why you're able to get the big gain by Malik Rutherford to set you up in a third and much more manageable.
2 yards to go. Got another flag.
Illegal snap.
Wow, again.
5-yard penalty, third down.
And the former offensive lineman, Coach Brent Key, perturbed. So 3rd and 7 now.
I think Brent Key was trying to say that BYU simulated the snap on that shift with the nose tackle that caused it, but nonetheless, it's now a 3rd and long.
Got to get to the 19. They keep it on the ground, and that's going to be Jamal Haynes with a nice effort, but not nearly enough to make it to the first down marker. Picked up 6, and it's 4th down.
Go back to that decision near midfield. Kalani Sitake opting to kick the ball and pin Georgia Tech deep. Now, Georgia Tech certainly helped with the illegal snap and the false start to start the drive, but BYU's going to get the ball back likely in very good field position.
Nichols to punt, standing on his own 3-yard line. It's his 3rd one of the game. Parker Kingston back deep. He does have a punt return for a touchdown against UCF. Trying to duplicate it, but he can't there. Run out of bounds at about the 30 with 5:44 to go. BYU with 3 timeouts remaining. Hey, the college football playoff continues with the quarterfinals on ESPN and the ESPN app. New Year's Eve, Miami squaring off against Ohio State in the Goodyear Cotton Bowl at 7:30 Eastern. New Year's Day, Oregon taking on Texas Tech in the Capital One Orange Bowl at noon Eastern. Then Alabama and Indiana in the Rose Bowl presented by Prudential. And we cap the night with the University of Mississippi and Georgia in the All-State Sugar Bowl. Looking forward to that Miami-Ohio State game. There's a little bit of history between those 2 schools going back to a national championship game several years back.
Hear what South Floridian Jeremiah Smith said about that?
Oh, yeah. Spicy. Incomplete. Bachmeier threw it behind his intended target, Parker Kingston. Who do you like in that game? I'm going to ask you to make a pick.
I think I like Ohio State, but it's going to be closer than I think people think. That Miami front defensively with Ruben Bain, Akeem Mesidor, Ahmad Moten is really, really talented, and I think they can give that offensive line for Ohio State some trouble. The question is, can Miami move the ball against what is the best defense in the country in Ohio State?
JoJo Phillips in motion. Bachmeier with time. Incomplete. Parker Kingston tried to haul it in traffic, but Lightsey was there to defend it.
Bear Bachmeier's a hair late on this throw, and that gets Parker Kingston really close to E.J. Lightsey, who was able to break it up. If Bachmeier's able to get to that sooner, he can get it to Kingston before he gets to Lightsey. So just a little slow getting back to that from the quarterback. And now a 3rd and long. Georgia Tech has not been great about getting pressure on Bear Bachmeier. They have affected him a little bit with the rush, though.
5.5 minutes to go. Carson Ryan, here comes the blitz. Bachmeier finds his target. Kingston for the first down, right beyond the 40-yard line. Wonderful pickup and read by the true freshman for 13 yards.
Where you're going to get a blitz from right here, and Parker Kingston just sets up right behind where the defender vacates. There's a ton of space on that side. Everybody dropping, and Parker Kingston able to pick up that first down way too easily on a 3rd and long.
1st and 10. Bachmeier has all day, and it's JoJo Phillips who comes back to the football at the 42-yard line. Under 5 minutes to go, a 15-yard game. They move the chains one more time.
This is what they expected, BYU, what they expected this year out of JoJo Phillips. It was a big loss for them early in the year. They talked to us about how good he was looking those first couple games. Again, 10 catches in the first 2 games before he got hurt against Stanford. Just came back in that Big 12 championship.
Bachmeier downfield. Kingston again caught at the 28-yard line. Working against Amari Harvey. Bachmeier doing surgery on that secondary. Good for 15 this time.
Had an opportunity to take a shot down the field to JoJo Phillips, who had a step on the defender, but when you've got options, JoJo Phillips, Parker Kingston, Chase Roberts have all had big games today. And seems like Bear Bachmeier feeling it a little bit through the air.
Certainly in rhythm right now. Out of the backfield, complete as tight end Ryan. Good for about 8, close to 9 yards. Both teams with a full complement of timeouts remaining. Yellow Jackets making substitutions. Boy, what a day he's had today.
And you're talking about a guy who came into this year not expecting to be the starting quarterback at BYU. Thought that it was going to be Jake Retzloff. He leaves the team as he was facing a suspension coming into the year, and Bear Bachmeier takes over, and we've seen the growth.
Nawahine brought down right around the 11-yard line. Great move. Picked up 9 as he usurped Omar Daniels right here.
I mean, that's clean. Put that on a frame.
His trail leg got down perfectly for a hurdler.
He's got to have hurdling in his pass, right?
Wow. From the 11, 1st down and 10. Bachmeier's connected on his last 4 passes. This is as much rhythm as the offense has had for the Cougars since that opening drive. Bachmeier pulls, complete. Damouni didn't get into the end zone, pushed out of bounds right before the pylon. Good for 7, though.
Question out for Georgia Tech defensively. Can you come up with another stop inside the 5-yard line? We've already seen him come up with a 4th down stop on the 1-yard line to turn BYU away. An interception in the end zone to turn BYU away. Can you do it again? Because with the amount of time on the clock, we're going to be to the 2-minute timeout after this play. Question is, if you can turn BYU away, will they even have a chance to get the ball back?
9th play of the drive for the Cougars. Bachmeier keeps it on the ground. Damouni, touchdown, got in. And he's rocking the baby to sleep as they take the lead. BYU with a surgical drive. Bachmeier disemboweling that Yellow Jacket defense. 2 minutes to go.
And Mark, it goes back to that 3rd and 10 conversion. Bear Bachmeier missed on the first 2 passes on that drive. And then after that 3rd and 10 conversion to Parker Kingston, completed 4 straight and ending up at least close to the end zone, called a touchdown on the field. We'll see on the replay if Javessa Dalmouni was able to get in. These BYU players have been fighting for extra yardage. Can't see the ball there. I mean, his body is, unless the ball is on his back foot, he's in the end zone.
You see the official right there down the line signaling touchdown. He had a good view of it. I tell you what, Dalmouni at just 190 pounds, giving up a lot of girth, made it into the end zone nonetheless. And then in the aftermath, rock the baby. Love it. Officials taking another look.
I think this is going to be upheld.
After the review, the ruling of a touchdown is upheld.
What a drive for BYU. Javessa Dalmouni not played a lot, played 29 snaps coming into this game. He has been one of the stars and puts BYU ahead for the go-ahead touchdown in this game.
Two minutes to go, and BYU leads by 4. Haynes King has authored and choreographed many a compelling comeback already this season. Trying to write the last chapter, and he's got 2 minutes to do it. We'll be back with it on the other side of this break. Two minutes to go. And BYU has come back to take a 4-point lead. Haynes King and the Yellow Jackets have catalyzed comebacks, late ones, all season long, but this time they'll have to start from the 21-yard line. Gordon brought down. Let's go back to the studio.
Mark, Ahmad Hardy, one of the top running backs in the country, getting ready for the Tax Slayer Gator Bowl. We got Missouri, Virginia coming your way on ABC. And Roddy, send frosted strawberry, please. Just straight to me in the studio.
Kevin, they've got protein in them now, too. So after you and Boog get your pump in for studio, it may make you pop out of those jackets. But we got you. We'll send them to you.
It's plant-based protein. 1st and 10 from the 21. Georgia Tech with 3 timeouts remaining. Haynes King flushed out and throws it away. It'll be 2nd down and 10. The closest receiver was Patterson.
Well, this has the potential to be a fitting ending to the career of Haynes King. An opportunity, 1:51 left. Georgia Tech with 3 timeouts, down by 4. What an ending it would be if Haynes King is able to get this done. One of the greatest quarterbacks in Georgia Tech history. With one final opportunity likely to lead his team to victory against one of the best defenses in the country in BYU.
Fumbles the snap, loose. He was forcing it to pounce back on the football, but now they are facing a 3rd and long, and the clock's still running.
It's a bad snap, and Georgia Tech needs just a little bit of urgency, because if you don't get this 3rd down and if you hurry, you can still take timeouts to get the ball back.
Loss of 5 on the play. They've had snap issues before tonight. Twice they've suffered penalties because of snap.
I don't know why Georgia Tech is taking so much time. I mean, now you're down under 15 seconds on the play clock.
Got all 3 of your timeouts remaining. They may look back at that sequence critically later after the fact. Haynes King pulls it, and it's incomplete. So now you're looking at 4th and 15 with 1:01 to go after letting the clock run down, and there's a flag down as well.
I wonder if it's going to be illegal touching again. you think back to the dribbled snap.
Illegal touching offense. The receiver went out of bounds on his own.
There it is.
First to touch the pass. That's a loss of down at the previous spot. It's 4th down.
Yeah, it's just treated like an incomplete pass. But you go back to the dribbled snap. If Georgia Tech hurries, is able to snap the ball quickly, in this situation, you could punt the ball back to BYU. They'd have, you know, somewhere around 1:30 left, and you could get stops. You have all 3 timeouts. You could have called them. Now you're in a similar situation, but you're going to have to get stops much closer in field goal range. You're going to have much less time on the clock, but
perhaps the final defining late inflection point for Haynes King. Does he have one more miraculous comeback in him? On 4th and long, King taking a shot downfield. Got a man. It's caught. And Rivers running free. First down, Georgia Tech. He beat Evan Johnson, and they're still alive.
BYU opted to go with press man coverage on the outside, and Eric Rivers, the speedster, runs right by Evan Johnson, and Haynes King drops it in the bucket, and Georgia Tech, as you said, still got a shot in this one.
68-yard gain. First down, 3 timeouts remaining. Clock running with 43 seconds to play. And Georgia Tech looks a little disconcerted right now, trying to get lined up. And they're going to burn one of their timeouts. Wow.
30 seconds.
There was confusion right there in the aftermath of that huge play, that huge catch and run by Rivers. So they're going to use one of their timeouts. Roddy, if you're Coach Key, what are you thinking right now?
You're thinking, whoo, thank goodness Haynes King was able to drop it in a bucket. First, just a moment for that play. I mean, it's 4th and 13, and then probably you get press coverage on the outside. Eric Rivers wins, and Haynes King with a great play. But right now, I think you're looking, you've got 32 seconds left. You've got 2 timeouts still. And from a clock management standpoint, you're thinking out of bounds, or if it's in the middle of the field, you have to hurry up or call your timeout. But in this situation, you are confident with Haynes King, with number 10 on your side, that you're confident you're going to have a chance to get this thing in the end zone.
Remember, Coach Key said he wants to see Haynes King be Haynes King.
You got one more quarter with Haynes King. What do you hope to see?
Haynes be Haynes.
Thank you, Coach.
And he just did. Might be more to come. Gonna find out here. King flushed out into the end zone and out of bounds. He was looking at Haynes. And it stops the clock with 28 seconds to go as Garrett Bachmeier helplessly watching from the BYU sideline. 2nd down and 10 from the 18.
It's the 2nd time Haynes King had a lot of room in front of him, and I thought should have probably taken off and run the ball. He wouldn't have gotten in the end zone, but you could have gotten 8 to 10 yards and then gotten out of bounds. But looking for Jamal Haynes in the back of the end zone.
Rivers split to the top of your screen. Haynes King gets away into the end zone, and he hit the pylon, not the receiver intended for Haynes. Jeez.
He's motioning for Jamal Haynes to come back towards him, break back towards the ball. Haynes never did. So Haynes King ended up throwing it to the pylon where no one was going to get it. But we've now seen this 2 plays in a row where quick pressure flushes Haynes King out of the pocket and nobody able to get open.
19 seconds to go. Georgia Tech with 2 timeouts remaining.
Should mention that Georgia Tech's biggest receiver, Isaiah Canyon, is out for this game with an injury. He would come up big. He'd be big in this moment.
Yeah, literally at 6'4", too. And Georgia Tech is going to burn one of its 2 remaining timeouts with 19 seconds to go. Trying to come back and look for its 2nd win all time against BYU. In this, the 5th meeting between these 2 schools. Hey, as we have alluded to earlier, sometimes you get bowl teams that show up not quite as enthusiastic and as motivated as you would think they would be. That certainly has not been the case here tonight in Orlando with BYU and Georgia Tech. This has been an exceptional football game.
It's been a lot of fun to be here and see these two teams come out and compete, and we thought they would. These are two coaching staffs that talked about how similar the programs are, built on toughness, discipline, running the football, led by two men who are alums of their schools. So it's been awesome to watch.
Fans, don't forget to check out the ESPN app for the Capital One postgame immediately following the game. From the 18, here we go, 3rd down and 10 for Georgia Tech.
Question if you're Georgia Tech is, can you find something to get Haynes King an easy throw to get near the sideline to get some positive yardage and possibly a 1st down?
Haynes sets in the backfield. King with a clear line of vision, overshoots his receiver, Dean Patterson. Just a little bit high. And they'll have one more final opportunity.
Just a little bit too high. That's the length of a sprinkle. I actually think it might have gone through the hands of Dean Patterson.
Wow.
And that was right, very close. If it's a little bit easier a catch, I think 11 might be able to come up with it, but we've already seen Georgia Tech convert on 1 3rd down on this drive. Can they do it again to keep the season alive?
They've got a timeout remaining, but got to get the 1st down first. And BYU is going to burn one of its 3 remaining timeouts. On 4th and 10 here, make sure that they're lined up well. But the big play to keep the Georgia Tech hopes alive came from Eric Rivers getting in behind Evan Johnson, BYU's best cover corner, for 68 yards to put them in scoring position.
That was on a 4th and 15. Obviously not as much room as Eric Rivers had then, but you were able to find a seam to Dean Patterson on that last one. You don't need it all here. You just need to get the 1st down to keep things alive, and then you start to worry about the clock and all the management of getting it into the end zone. You don't have to go to the end zone here. You just need to be able to get the 1st.
Georgia Tech looking for its first 10-win season since 2014.
That guy that was just here for the Pop-Tarts ended up getting a great game.
He was.
Went to a Pop-Tart show and a game broke out.
A bonus. So here we go. Yellow Jackets go empty. On 4th and 10, they've got to get to the 8-yard line. Haynes King into the end zone, picked off by Evan Johnson. There's Johnson's atonement and redemption after being beaten. Johnson with his 5th interception of the season, and arguably the most important one. And that brings to a conclusion the Haynes King era at Georgia Tech alongside head coach Brent Key, which will remain one of the most indelible, significant ones in Georgia Tech program history. That'll do it. BYU hangs on to win 25-21. Kalani Sitake got a little snack along the way. And now for today's Capital One Player of the Game, Bear Bachmeier. as Kalani Sitake gets his Pop-Tarts and Gatorade shower. Let's go down to Q.
Are you okay? First of all, are you okay?
I'm great. I just got one of these little mini Pop-Tarts. I'm good to go.
You're down 11. You told me this is going to require some pain. What did you mean by that?
Physical pain and mental stress. These guys are built for this, so the guy that made the play right there at the end is the one that gave up that big play. You got to have faith and believe in each other. We had a lot of faith in him, and all credit goes to Georgia Tech. That was a great game. We just ended up coming out with the victorious in this one, but man, the first-class organization, and it was awesome to play this bowl game against them.
What did this game say about your senior class?
Oh, they're great. They won a lot of games, and they've been, maybe underappreciated in college football, and hopefully that with this win, we haven't won 12 games in a while, so something they can be really proud of and something that they'll carry for the rest of their life.
How would you describe Bears Bachmeier's performance?
Yeah, awesome, except for the one pick here, but he's still learning, and there's still a lot of room for growth, and I'm really proud of him. We'll get through all the mistakes, but you just got to keep believing in these guys, and they'll follow through.
Congratulations, Coach. We can smell the Pop-Tarts toasting right now.
I can't wait. I'm excited. Thank you. Go Cougs.
Boy, what a couple of big plays on that final game-defining drive by both BYU and Georgia Tech.
Well, it's two things on this play. First off, it's the blitzes by these two players coming off of the edge, and then it's a little out and up by Jamal Haynes, and the big play by Evan Johnson undercutting that route. But because Haynes King had to move up in the pocket, it's what causes just to be a little late on the throw. It had more room if you threw it earlier. Maybe you can put it on the back line, but a nice play by Evan Johnson, and the disappointment by Brent Key. His team's so close, up 11, and they send off Haynes King in a heartbreaking fashion, but it's the beginning of the Bear Bachmeier era at BYU. Well, let's go down to Q, who's with the tight end, Carson Ryan.
Perhaps, without looking at stats, I could tell you, a career game. What was it like to compete in this game? It was not your typical bowl game.
It was so fun, man. We've been looking forward to this bowl game all month. Pop-Tarts, they do a great job with the whole week and just all the itinerary and, hitting up Disney World, Universal, and just the way they set up for us. It's such a fun game and such a good one, last little game with our brothers. I love every moment of this, and it's just such a special feeling.
You find yourselves down 11. What was going on in your mind?
We're just staying calm. We've been in this position before a lot this year, and we know just to stick together and trust our process. Everyone do their job and trust your teammates. We'll come out on top.
12-win season. You bring back to Provo for the first time in a long time.
Sure.
As a captain, what does that mean to you?
It just means so much. We've been with these guys all year, training all off season, all the sweat, the blood, the tears we put into this. Just to see it all pay off with 12 wins, such a historic thing for this team, and it just means so much to all of us.
And how would you characterize the celebration? You guys throwing these mini Pop-Tarts and multiple Gatorades on Coach Sitake.
That's what makes it so fun. That's why I love this bowl game. I love watching it every year, now to play in it. It's so cool.
Happiness is a toasting Pop-Tart. We're moments away.
Oh,
Congratulations.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
BYU with its 12th win. Hey, welcome to the post. Roddy, a couple of high-quality teams on the field today. Two teams that proved that they were very worthy of being in the conversation for the college football playoff. And BYU finally putting heads to bed. Bear Bachmeier finishing 27 of 38. 325 yards, a touchdown. The one blemish, that interception. But, boy, for me, beyond what I expected today, throwing the football by him.
He was phenomenal throwing the ball, and we wondered how effective he would be with that bum ankle.
Right.
How would he be able to run the ball, and how effective would he be throwing it? Well, that was answered quickly. He was tremendous through the air. And this is a BYU team, 5 comeback wins for this BYU team. 12 wins on the season. A re-signed coach in Kalani Sitake, and a great future with guys like Bear Bachmeier coming back, LJ Martin coming back, JoJo Phillips and Parker Kingston coming back. This team will be one of the favorites in the Big 12 next year. And Mark, for the third year in a row, BYU and the Big 12 gets its unsanitary, grubby hands on the Pop-Tarts.
All right, let's go down to Quinn.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Roddy. And thanks to the fans here in Orlando tonight. Let's give a round of applause, first of all, to Georgia Tech out of the ACC for their efforts tonight. Let's hear it for Georgia Tech. Brian Combs is the president of Florida Citrus Sports. He's our host, and he runs this Pop-Tarts Bowl. Brian is here to present the championship trophy.
Thank you. Congratulations to the BYU Cougars on winning the 2025 Pop-Tarts Bowl Toaster Trophy.
Head coach Kalani Sitake, are we starting to toast? We got 90 seconds. Can you smell it toasting yet?
I've been smelling it all week.
This one wasn't easy, and you pointed that out to us in the third quarter. What do you think made the difference?
Well, these players right here, they kept believing. They've been doing that since the senior class was leading us. So I'm really proud of the players and thankful to all our fans that are here. Love you guys. Thank you for being here. And thank you guys.
You have great fans, and they were a factor in that third and fourth quarter.
Yeah, they always make a difference, and I'm glad that they're out here in warm, sunny Orlando, Florida. Before you take the mic away from me, I just want to give a shout out to Georgia Tech, first-class organization. Their fans should be proud of the way their team represented themselves and their coach, and they did a great job. It was an honor for us to share the field with you guys. Thank you very much.
12-win season for the Cougars. Senior class, guys, Chase is making plays today, Carson's making plays today, Tanner's making plays today. What's the impact of the senior class?
These guys are great spiritual men. They have a testimony and a belief in the gospel of Jesus Christ. We get to celebrate Christ's birth around this time. And so, I'm really thankful that I get to be around faithful men, and these guys have taught me a lot, and I'm still learning.
Faith, football, and love. You talk about it all the time. Are we cooked yet? Are we getting close? Not yet. Bear came into this game a little banged up. Some question marks about his performance. How did he deliver?
Bear did a great job. There's a couple plays that I wish we had back, and he understands that, but he's still a baby. He's still growing. Anything on?
This is the second time you've struggled with the toaster.
Pop-Tarts are good any way they come, even burnt.
What was your favorite flavor? Or what was the favorite flavor amongst the guys on the team this week?
Well, we're not picky. We're all appreciative for what we have, and so whatever they can spare us, we'll eat.
Toasted or untoasted?
It doesn't matter. We're thankful for what we have.
You got boxes of toasters for your 4 kids you're going to take home?
I'm going to eat them on the way home, so I'm good. I'm gonna save them the trouble, and I'll just make sure I got about 8 pounds that I got to gain before we get to New Year's resolutions.
Mark Jones upstairs.
All right, Coach Sitake, I like that reverse psychology. He's got to gain some weight before New Year's. Hey, let's take a look at today's Capital One rewarding performance, and what a comeback it was by BYU, rallying in the second half. And Roddy, it all seemed to start with that blocked field goal, which is usually automatic for Georgia Tech.
It did, but you could see the want-to, the desire by BYU the entire game, fighting for extra yards, the physicality that they showed when running the ball. And Bear Bachmeier, this was it. Hey, middle linebacker, let me see you. Get in the end zone. And he was able to do it. Carson Ryan was fantastic. You had Enoch Nawahine and Javessa Damouni be excellent running the ball without L.J. Martin. And then this one, the game sealer, Evan Johnson, after giving up the big play down the field, as Kalani Sitake said, kept the belief that the ball was going to go his way, had an opportunity to make plays, and we've got toasted Pop-Tarts. Yes! That's got to be just Joey Chestnut style, Kalani.
Coach Sitake was. He attacked that. Let's go back to Q downstairs.
Thanks, Mark. Leslie Serro is here. She's Vice President of Marketing for Pop-Tarts, and she's here to present the MVP trophy.
Thank you. On behalf of Pop-Tarts, thanks for a crazy good game. I'm pumped to present the MVP to Bear Bachmeier.
Why did they give you a boo there?
I don't know. Maybe they wanted some or something. I was going to shove it all in my mouth, but I knew they probably want some, so they probably wanted toasted in there.
What was going through your mind during the bowl prep leading up to this game and the health of your ankle?
Yeah, well, I knew it was going to be a tough task coming back, but I do anything to play with these brothers, and yeah, I'm so glad to get the win.
It's your third comeback of the season. You had a comeback against Colorado, you had a comeback against Arizona, and today you're down 11. What's going on in your mind when you're looking up at the scoreboard in the fourth quarter down 11?
Let's go win the game. I mean, unfortunately, we've been in this situation a multitude of times, but the trust and the camaraderie of all these guys, I love these guys. I knew we were going to bounce back, and that's what we did.
How do you best characterize that camaraderie?
Man, it's just a special brotherhood. I guess one word is just gritty, man, and family. Coach Kalani's always harping on it, and we're brothers, and I'm so glad to send the seniors out with a bang.
Congratulations, Bear. Congratulations to BYU, Coach Satake and the staff, and congratulations to all the fans. Mark and Roddy, we're going to send it back upstairs to you.
All right, Q. As Coach Satake and Coach Key said previous to kickoff in one of the press conferences earlier, it's easier to say goodbye to the seniors after a win. Unfortunately, only one team can win. It's going to go back downstairs to the on-field festivities.
will go on to live in our hearts and our minds and our stomachs for the next 4 to 6 hours. BYU, I hope you guys are hungry because we're getting ready to have the biggest edible mascot sacrifice of all time. There is cookies and cream, protein, slamming, strawberry, and cherry. They look like they're ready to go. All right, Slammin', we see those muscles. Team Sprinkles, it's time to meet your maker in mouth heaven. Here come the signs. Dream it, achieve it. Let's see the signs, guys. Dream it, achieve it, live your dream. And not my dream yet? What's going on, Slammin' Strawberry? What? Wait, where are you going? Wait, oh no! Slammin' Strawberry! We might need to do a wellness check. Well, as they say, the toasting must go on. So Team Sprinkles, are you ready to fulfill your destiny? All right, here we go. Let's toast those mascots. We'll always love you, Team Sprinkles. Cookies and cream, cherry. And there they are, the edible mascots for BYU, your people's national champions.
It's about 400 calories in that mouthful, but he'll take care of it. College football scoreboard. It's coming up next, followed by the Tax Slayer Gator Bowl. For Roddy Jones, Quint Kesenick, our entire crew behind the camera, a talented crew, I'm Mark Jones. Let's check in with the studio.